What'd you think?
It's pretty good, but why are you wearing that?
Well, because it's Zelda, and I'm... Why are you wearing that?
What up, guys? This is Kurt, and that was...
Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes a Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there, there goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a street.
There's enough of that shit. Let's use message. No. Alright, here's the madness.
Well, he's
Blah 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 blah.
He's here. The false chin is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yeah, the gang's back together, people.
Yeah, how about that?
Did you miss me?
Nope.
I am so glad you're back.
Because you don't have to do the stream shit no
The
more.
goddamn stream anymore. Holy,
That's the only reason, though.
done here.
Yeah.
Other than that, he doesn't care at all.
No, that's fine.
I did like having somebody on the show who would get a goddamn hip hop reference once in a while. I
Well,
guess you
that
get
is
some
also
of
true.
it, but you don't know the Wu-Tang like your brother knows the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, well, old is old.
Yeah, that is totally true.
I'm old.
Yeah, I don't get it either because I'm young.
The thing goes.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I don't know any of that old shit.
You don't know new shit either. What are you talking about, Stu? You don't know hip
Don't be
hop?
such a. What are you talking about?
Who's your
It's
favorite
fine.
rapper right now?
Who's my favorite? What EA?
Who is your favorite rapper right now?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all the white people say.
What's your favorite song?
I had no idea.
Well, then shut up. Trying to act like you know something.
I like me a bit of Run DMC.
What's your favorite song by them?
It's like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Sing us a little of it.
It's like that. You know the way it is.
And that's the way it is. Oh
Well,
my
it was close.
God.
It was goddamn close. Don't be so fucking nippity.
Are we ready to start?
We're
I know.
always ready to. Every time you ask
I'm
that
always ready.
question, I'm always ready to
I
start.
don't want to assume.
Start the motherfucking show.
Bitch.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Nothing's changed.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Jimmy, other fellas will tell you about every single game that they play this week.
Somebody please pick up the children.
Stu story time and Jimmy's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite savior.
Don't make me break my foot off in your ass!
It's the veteran gamers.
Keep it real!
It's the veteran gamers.
I like the beats and shouting.
Yeah, boy.
My wife!
Pork chop sandwiches. Console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Okay, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted.
Hello and welcome to episode 456 of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6 coming back in the mix. It's the original 3 people. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
Did you miss me then? Is it?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you he did.
I'm back.
So much. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
So how did you like
That's
America?
okay.
America was good and short.
Well, it's a bit like me because I'm good and short too.
Yeah.
You're short.
I don't know if you ever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've listened, Stu, but the EGX episodes are out,
Yeah,
I've listened to them all.
and you probably realise what I didn't include.
what's that?
Well, I partly realised that, but I also realised you didn't bother levelating the first of them because it sounded horrific.
Because fuck you.
Like anybody
Because the second one sounded absolutely fine. But
Stuart,
the
I
first
listened
one,
to both of
not so
them. I
much.
didn't notice any difference between
Exactly.
them.
I know.
Unless you
can we gloss over
reloaded
this?
it, but the
This is
first one was
boring.
terrible.
Bored. So
Well, the first one, no, I don't know which one it was, first or second, whatever, stack line, ass line, I don't know what you're talking about. But I know that there was one of them where you start off talking about taking a pooping at McDonald's, and
Yeah.
then you
Oh, that's
end
the second
taking
one.
a pooping at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why am I listening to this?
no, that's beautiful. That's like
It was a
just
funny
levelated.
story.
See that? Then those stories about pooping would have been so much more easy to listen to.
yeah. It's like poetry, It's like they
It was
rhyme.
poetry.
Exactly.
Look, it's a nice thing. Don't get hung up about it.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
about 2 weeks late on this one.
Well,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so Stu and I had a long conversation in the car, and it was basically a whole
Did,
episode of the
missing.
show.
It
And I
was
didn't
missing.
include it because A, it was boring, and B,
was.
it was boring.
Wait, there was boring stuff that you didn't.
No, we did talk about what you've been playing, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I know.
As-
But that means that the whole explanation of what happened while I was out in America.
There's a toilet flush sound for
Has,
yeah,
has-
that would have been helpful if that happened.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went on my honeymoon, and unfortunately, the honeymoon was cut short
Oh, what?
due to illness. So after selfish Tara gets ill,
Always thinking about herself.
I know.
I don't feel well. My head hurts.
yeah,
He-
on my dream holiday, I thought that was really selfish of her. So I had to do the right thing, and I had to go home. So I was only in America for 4 days. I did get to meet
How long have you
Greg.
been married at that point?
2-3 days.
See, not even a week, and already she's like, "Turn around, let's go home. I don't
She's
want to be here."
I'll tell you what. Since we got married, she's changed.
Women, can you believe it?
I know. So yeah, we did manage to meet Greg, but then a few days later we had to come back. So I didn't really have a honeymoon. I was sort of back in the country pretty quickly after that. So I could have been on the last 2 episodes, but I wasn't. So
Well,
that's
You did
that.
some time to deal with stuff.
I had
yeah.
to deal with shit. So
Have you
that's-
thought about this? Maybe Greg made Tara sick.
Well, that would have been interesting because she was sick before that.
Don't say that. No.
Oh yeah.
As soon
Greg.
as she met Greg.
It was definitely Greg.
Stomach.
Yeah, totally.
So that sucks, and then AGX happened and all that sort of stuff. So
That sucked. Oh wait, no, that was good.
Yeah. But
EJX was good. It was good this year. It was good.
but Tara's getting better.
That's not. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Shinny. I hate to interrupt. No, I don't. But that's not the impression I got from all the episodes I listened to.
Yeah,
the impression I got was every year it's a bit sad, and less and less stuff here, and then there's not anything else.
Well, there is that. That is true. But we still.
But I go for the people.
We did. We had lots of fun outside of the gaming stuff, but the gaming stuff wasn't that fun really. But we had lots of fun with people.
Anyway, before you go to fucking shitty X,
shitty
You gotta
EX.
talk about it again. You just talked about
Of
it.
course we are. Because we're going to talk about it.
no, we haven't got to talk about Tara's. Shut up!
Shut up.
Tara's fine. Tara's getting better. She's
Yay,
fine.
Tara's
She's
yay.
almost there now into some kind of like fully better. So
Yeah.
that's all good.
We love you.
Anyway,
Feeling
EGX
better.
was both the game. The actual show was not that great, but the actual weekend was fantastic because of everybody there.
Yeah,
That's pretty much all I got to say about EGX.
Because of people. We love you, people.
We love people.
I have been thinking about Poker VR ever since that weekend because I played the Poker VR. I like the Poker VR.
Did you play that on the Sunday then?
Yeah, I played.
I
Net-
assume it's a card game that you're talking about, not one of these VR porn things that Antonio.
No.
Discussing.
It's just I went on I went on Metro. That was terrible, like boring.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Horizon Zero Dawn demo. It was just a kind of open-ended, weird shoot stuff
It
demo.
wasn't open-ended. It was linear.
Well, yeah.
It was the
but
opposite of it.
You were just stuck in one area and you
No, you
didn't
wasn't.
progress anywhere.
No, you wasn't.
Well, it kind of was.
No, you wasn't. It was just go as far as you can. Did you get on the zip line and see the monster cross the road?
Nope.
Because you didn't know you wasn't going across. You wasn't going the way you're supposed to go.
I don't know. I got into the bandit village and then I seemed like you couldn't go anywhere because I jumped in the water
Yeah.
and it kind of just deposited you back on the same bank that you jumped in from.
So then you go, well, obviously I can't go across the water. What's across the water? A zip line.
And where was that from then? The tower thing?
Yeah, you go up the tower and then you go across the zip line.
I went up the tower and was shooting people.
So this
from it.
open-ended, went nowhere shit that you've been spreading is bollocks.
Well, obviously it was open-ended if you could go further than I thought.
Well, you
Does that
thought it
not
was just an
support my
open
argument?
area. No,
We've been in this, so I might as well play it. We're just skipping story. I mean, Tara was the story time, I guess. I don't know. He's going to shit today.
Anyway, my point is that Stu thought it was like a little open area that you couldn't progress any more in, and I just proved him wrong, which makes me happy. So I went on.
Proved me wrong.
So I went on Metro. That was boring, but I did like play my Switch a little bit, so that was good in the queue. And then I walked off, and it was sort of in between. Like Bongo was on Hitman 2, so I was like, well, I'll play something else. And Poker Stars VR was there. And I don't like VR. Well, to say I don't like VR is a bit harsh. Like I get it, right? I get the sort of gimmick of it, and it's very immersive and very sort of fun. But it's kind of like it's very limiting, VR. It's pretty static. It's what you can do. So then, but like I like poker, right? And I was like, oh, this will be a good chance for me to play poker. I've never played poker in VR, and I'm guessing. That's the best way to play poker is in VR, and it was the HTC.
Well, apart from in real life.
Well, even that, because in this one, you're not just playing poker. You're playing, like a fucking crazy version of it, because it's normal poker, right? It's just normal poker, but you've got all these like things that you can buy, like a gun. And
what do you need a gun for?
Like, so I went
When
into
somebody bluffs and you're wrong, and then you can shoot them.
so I went into
Can
the
you shoot
game.
people in the face if you
Yes,
think
I went
they're
into
cheating?
I went into the game.
Red Dead Redemption is when you get the bluff wrong, and you're like, God damn it!
Shut up! I went into the game, all right, and I just put my headset on and stuff. And by the way, I'm sure the the person that showed me the game was a man dressed as a woman. But anyway, you know, it's all fine. No one cares. But that was sort of like I had to deal with that. Like, oh, you're a man, and
Ginny, we're in the 2010s here. You do realise
no,
this,
I know
don't
that,
you?
but
This
like
thing's
I wasn't
kinda
like
normal.
there was a lot of things being introduced to me. I put this VR thing on, and then I had to realise that this person was a man, and then I had to realise she was trying to explain the controls to me, and there's just a lot of things going on at the same time. I feel like she should have opened with, "By the way, I'm a man."
Why?
Because it just would have made
Wait,
things
wait, wait. If it's a man, why are you saying she?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
It's hey, I don't fucking know or care.
So you
right?
had a moment of gender dysphoria. Okay.
Yeah, so what you're saying is you're prejudiced against
I'll
people with gender.
Just make it
things,
easy.
is that
Whatever they want to be called, like whatever. But if anybody wants to be called anything, I don't care. Right. But
For instance, Ginny wants to be called a bigot.
yes, exactly. So I went on the VR thing, and so then I'll go into this game, and there's like, you know, people in there, like real people in there, and there's an English person and an American woman who are part of like the beta team. I'm guessing they're sort of testers for the game, and they're talking to me, right? And they go, "Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome," and I go, "Oh, hey," right? And I'm joining the other people because there's two other people with me at EGX joining. And it only sort of dawned on me, because I had no microphone or anything, but it only just dawned on me. There was like, "Oh, can I talk? Can you hear me?" And they went, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And then he went, "Oh, you sound local. Where are you from?" I says, "I'm from Wolverhampton." And people from Wolverhampton are usually known as yam yams. And he was from Birmingham. And he said, "Play your fucking hands, you yam yam." And he was being all funny and stuff. And then the American woman was sort of like being funny. And then you could buy these props, right? So you could buy like a firework, right? So you buy a firework, and then you want to set the firework off, but this is no, you need to buy a lighter first. So then I had to buy a lighter to light the firework, and then you could just throw shit at people, right? And then like someone threw a rubber ducky at me, and I had to catch the rubber ducky, and we was playing catch. And then there's a poker game in the middle of all this.
So wait, I was gonna say, where's the cards? I thought.
Yeah,
it was
there's
a
like the
card
poker
game.
game's happening. Do you know what I mean? Like
Catch the VR
there's a lot of downtime in poker, so like you know.
reason to play VR.
So there's a lot of fucking about basically, and you can just you can literally throw your chips in. You can what else could you buy? Yeah, so the
trick where you flip the chip around in your hand.
You can, I think, do that. You can. Nice. The thing that I did was someone gave me a cigarette, right, and he was teaching me how to smoke, right. So I grabbed the cigarette. And he says, "Put it to your mouth." So I put it to my mouth, and it stuck in my mouth, and I freaked out. And I went, "Oh my god, I'm smoking, Mom." And
so was it perspective right?
Did it? VR game. They should have a VR game where you can smoke crack, and then as soon as you do, like the VR goggles fill up with red, and like everything gets all crazy. I don't know what crack is like. I've never smoked crack.
Yeah,
yet.
So
they should make a simulator where you like have to get crack and suck somebody off for it.
Did the cigarette? Oh my god, I can't get this question out.
Sorry.
Did the cigarette look in the right perspective? Did it look like it was hanging out your mouth when you looked down?
Look at this, Stuart. God.
I'm just asking a question, for God's sake. You're going about fucking crack.
Yeah, but
I'm asking how it looked in VR. The whole thing with VR is realism and freaking being in it.
Cigarette is the
Jesus Christ.
No. What about crack smoking simulator?
Dude,
exactly.
I think you just got to let him have this, right? So
Yeah.
just to answer your
the
question,
angle of the crack pipe correct?
so the angle of the cigarette seemed fine, and the weird thing was that when you take the cigarette back out, you blow a puff of smoke, right?
Wow, that's just weird. And you're doing this presumably with the controller thing. I can't think what they're called. Not touch controllers, Oculus. I can't remember what
I don't know what they're called. There's a couple of dildos that you get with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was Pokerville. There's a few other things you could get, like, you know, it's quite easy to. I mean, it's very intuitive, isn't it? You know, you can literally lift up your cards, and you can sneak at other people's cards. You can when they're looking, you can try and look. So you got to cover it with your own hand and stuff. And I caught a peep at like the person's card, and then I went all in, and the guy got a lot of cash and started like smashing it on, like it's like a prop, it's like fake cash, and he like throws it on the table to say, "Oh, this is a big hand," and you can drink cans of like energy drinks and like pinatas, and then somebody started to get a lighter out and like set fire to somebody, like it didn't set fire but like gesture towards like setting fire to their nipples, so it just
like you do
like
in
you
VR.
do, yeah. So it was an interesting game, and I've wanted to go back ever since. I'm not going to buy a HTC Vive.
Just to play this game.
Just to play this game because that's nonsense. But it is cool, and you know, if there was somewhere where I could play it for an hour and pay, I would do that.
Ginny's talking about he wants to play VR.
I want to play poker.
Yeah.
All right, so like that's cool. But again,
I
like
wanna play Crack Simulator.
it's still suck a dick simulator. So but I want to, but I want to play poker really, and it's kind of fun way of playing poker.
Trying to clean the dog's ears now.
So yeah, that was that, and you know I played Hitman 2 and all that sort of shit. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
There you
what
go. Is that it? Is that any? Was there anything else you played on the last day?
I played Theme Hospital, like 2 Point Hospital.
All right, how was that?
Have you not listened to the last episode of the show then?
It was only 18 minutes long, so I didn't bother.
Oh, maybe I didn't record. Oh, you say you didn't?
Well, I listened to the beginning of it, but then I was like, it's only 18 minutes. What's the point?
What is that?
What happened to the rest of the show?
So if you look at the length of a song and go, well, it's only 2 minutes. Why should I bother?
Those are the first 2 minutes.
Makes no sense.
I did listen to quite a bit of it.
Song on Logic's new album, but I only listened to 5 of them.
But the trouble is, here's the problem, right? It takes me about 25, 30 minutes to get to work. It wasn't long enough for a car journey.
So then you pause it and then you play it when you drive back.
Well, no, because it finished halfway there.
Yeah, but on my phone, like most things, it says, okay, you've stopped it there. I will continue that. Hence the meaning of pause.
I don't know. Just went long enough.
You're a maniac. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Anyway,
yes, I do.
I played 2 Point Hospital, which is the successor to Theme Hospital, which is the same developers back in the day.
Oh my god, we're going to get so many copyright claims yet again.
Oh, well, fuck them. So,
thank you for showing me the Q-tip with the dog's ear gunk in it, Duchess.
So, yes, so 2 Point Hospital is like a theme hospital sort of in the modern day. And I wanted to play it to sort of see if I could justify spending £20 to buy it, because I really want to play it. And I played it and I really, really liked it. And I think it is worth £20. It's very polished, it's very funny, it's exactly what you expect from a modern theme hospital. The only problem is on the drive back I came to the sudden realisation that what the fuck am I doing buying new games when I've got 5,000 games to play?
This is true.
So, my life.
You know, I've got like Zelda, I've got Spider-Man, I've got God of War, I've got you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 just around the corner. So it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I going to spend money on this? So I'll buy it when the time's right, is more the sort of thinking. But it totally sort of convinced me to get it. I really liked it, and it was fun. But they took me off pretty quickly on it. They just went, get the fuck off. And then I said, no, fuck you. And they went, no, get the fuck off, prick. And I went, fuck you. And then we had a fight.
Damn.
Nice. Nice. I never saw this in the news.
No,
It's
pretty private affair.
It'd have to be a pretty big news fight, or a big fight making it into the news.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. People fighting at EGX will be pretty big news, I guess.
Anyway, so that was
can I ask? Was it a ready-made hospital you could just wander around in, or could you actually build stuff or have a go?
You sort of starting from scratch.
Right, so they didn't just give you something ready built to faff about.
No,
it was literally
it was like an empty hospital.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
Mm.
I mean, it literally just looks like Prison Architect, but with a hospital instead.
Well, this came first.
No, I get that. I get that's
but
what
like
that's based on.
The difference is like this is all like tongue in cheek. So like one of the diseases is like lightheadedness, and you've got a light bulb for a head, and you know, like it's really like slapstick. Like there's a guy who's got.
It's not about keeping people locked up. It's about healing.
No, I get that. I mean, I can see this now because there's people running around with what look like lights on their heads and stuff.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, pots and pans on people's heads and like all sorts of like diseases.
Sorry, the other question I have is there a mad feeling of pressure in this game? Like, oh, there's patience, you got to hurry up and get things solved, or is it more of a laid-back management type of game?
I'd imagine it's more the former. I didn't really get far enough to get find that out really. But yeah, it was. I didn't invest in staff because I couldn't be bothered because I wanted cooler stuff. So I bought cheap nurses and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good, but it's just a case of there's too much at the moment to play. So that was 2 points. So then I did play Hitman 2. Hitman 2 was good. I realised why I like Hitman 2 so much. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Why?
Tara always shouts at me for eavesdropping on other people's conversations when we're out.
Nice.
I constantly do it all the time. I'm like, oh, they're talking about something over there. She's like, can't you just have a nice meal with me? And I go, no. And then I realised that Hitman...
I only have one nice conversation. Why can't I have 2?
I can have 20 conversations with different people. So Hitman is all about walking past people and like listening to conversations and gaining intel. So that's why I like the game so much, because you walk past people and they go, somebody just had a fight downstairs. He looks pretty bad shape though. And then you go downstairs and then you look at the fight and obviously it leads to something. It's like, well, I don't care that the security man is bumped up or, and then,
Like how Space Princess in this game.
Oh my glob.
Yeah, and then some guy will be like, fuck that shit, man. I'm just going to leave the keys here. Fuck that. Fuck that. In fact, I'm going to give my gun to this bald motherfucker right here. Fuck it. So that's the Hitman the game. So the level that I was on was the Formula 1 racing car level. And you have to kill the race car driver.
Wow, that's a bit harsh. What's he
Well,
done?
she's a bitch. You assumed.
Oh, it's a girl.
You assume there. She's a bitch.
I did.
And,
Well, it's like when I did the Murderers Guild. What is it? Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. And they're telling me, go kill this dude who, mentally, disabled guy in this town by the river. And he's like, Susie, my sister. I'm like, I don't want to kill this guy. What did he ever do to anybody?
No, you are giving you are giving a slight reason for it. She's
a slight.
She's a bit of a twat, and she is the daughter of this guy who has this company who make like drones that kill like, I don't know, people in third world countries and stuff.
Why does killing her help that?
Because she's sort of behind it as well. She's like really bad. She's bad because she has like a short blonde hair German haircut. So
yeah.
She's bad.
She's terrible person.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm always amazed at? And I've been watching the Hitman games.
The
and
fact that the show is still going.
No, the fact that his disguises are so shit.
Well, it's not the disguises are shit. It's the fact that he has a bald head with the barcode on the back of his head.
Exactly, but it's like he puts on like some sunglasses, and suddenly no one knows he's there. I'm like, how does that work then? You know what I mean? It's just so weird.
I'm gonna reveal something to you now. This is a video game, so like it's.
I
fine.
get that.
So just sort of.
But that little thing matters.
I
Man.
know. I think
Why
it's
does
more.
he put a wig on? Maybe
No,
a wig would help.
I'm
Because
more
then
of
at
a
least
thing.
his bald
I
head's
think,
covered up.
I think what it is Stu doesn't like the game, so therefore he has to pick on it.
I'm not picking. I'm just making an observation.
Stu
Look, a
doesn't
wig.
like the game,
He could
so
have
he's
a
picking on it.
hippie wig or something.
Yeah.
He's got bald hair, or even better, unless he's got alopecia, why does he just grow his hair out or something?
He likes shaving it. It's aerodynamic.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like grow your hair or something, make it less obvious who you are. Because he's killed so many people over the years. There must be like a photograph of this guy circulating.
He's the last person you ever see before you die.
I guess that's some sort of explanation, I suppose.
Can we move on now?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hitman 2 looks good. I like Hitman. It looks good. Then what else did I play? I don't know. I just walked about a bunch. That was it.
So were you there all day? Did you stay for the whole day till the end?
I've never done this before, but I stayed there till it closed.
Oh my god!
You're like the last person in, they were kicking you out.
There was EGX is now over, and the reason why is like the last hour I was speaking to iPeak for most of it. So
nice.
There we go.
Oh, over at Catastronauts.
Oh, he'll come hang out with you, but he wouldn't come to see me.
Correct.
Oh.
Take that, me.
He has no
Uh-oh.
regrets.
Yeah.
So
Should be.
that was the last day of EGX.
Last day. So was there anyone still around apart from IP, or was it literally just you and
Wow,
IP?
you didn't listen to any of the show, did you?
I didn't know. I did. No, I told you. I listened to the very beginning of your bit.
Listen to a
When
little.
you were talking to Katie and Antonio for a
I
while,
was.
and then I was like, oh, I'm bored now. Bored.
Of your own show.
Take that, Antonio.
Yeah, I wasn't on it though. That's the trouble.
That's it, isn't it?
I'll
That's the problem.
when I'm on it.
I'm not on it. That's the problem,
I
isn't
was
it?
joking. I was joking.
No, I don't think you were. There's truth in that.
were.
Now you say that.
There's truth
Like
in
Greg
it.
Kavanaugh. I was just joking
No,
about.
I will. I will listen to it. I just.
You know what I'm
haven't
going
got
to
around-
do now, Stu?
Oh God, what?
I'm going to completely cut you out of the EGX video.
Oh no.
Ooh, burn. Ooh.
And then when you're on the screen, I'm just going to put like a
Well,
big black square on you.
Don't worry. I'll see
I won't
that
see it
happening in about
till
2 years'
2021.
time.
I know you joke.
Look, I wish it was a joke, but it isn't most of the time.
You're a joke. Anyway, it's great to be back. Thank you for welcoming me back. This is I feel brilliant.
Yeah. Right.
Didn't my brother do a great job?
He was good.
Yeah.
Your brother was great, yeah.
There you
We
go.
love Pete.
Yeah.
Petey Pete.
All right, calm
Yeah, it's
down.
not horrible to me like you.
Fuck off.
Well, he did give you a lot of shit for the game you recommended.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I don't mind that. I don't
Yeah.
mind him not.
See,
liking
my
the game.
horribleness to you
Ah.
comes from years
See,
of
Ginny's
pain.
personal horribleness.
No, I'm not personal. Yeah, no, I am. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I got lots more games to talk about. So somebody else talk for a little bit, please.
Yeah, yeah. I'll talk because I've got a story combined with a game.
Oh no.
Oh my
fuck.
god.
My favorite time. It's story time. Story
you.
time.
I
So
thought we got
So
past
here's the
story
thing.
time.
here's the thing. There's a game demo out called Judge Eyes,
Oh yeah.
which is set in the same universe as
Yakuza.
Yakuza, of course. Yeah, I had to think then. God, I must be getting old. Anyway, set in the same universe as Yakuza, and it's Kamurocho, or whatever it's called, Japanese city in Tokyo or whatever, where that's set. Well, basically, it's a different take on the game. You play as this judge dude, but this demo is only available in Japan, so you can't get it in the UK or
So
America.
you have to change accounts, make a Japanese account, and play it. Is that
Make
right?
a Japanese account.
Is that it?
Wow.
Correct.
Is that the end of the
Jesus
story?
Christ. No, it was a ball ache.
Oh.
Because
It was quite difficult because you had to put an address in.
Hang on. The story
No.
hasn't even begun yet.
No. That wasn't the difficulty. That's fine. I can make up a false address for another place. But when it's all in Japanese, it's hard to know what you're meant to be clicking on. So
Maybe
I'm
you should
just-
be trying to cheat the system by acting like you
know.
live somewhere you don't live.
I looked at about 4 or 5 guides. Oh my god! Then you've got to verify your account, which is also in Japanese. So you've got to wait for this Japanese email to come through. And I'm like, oh my god! And it literally took me about an hour to get this thing to work and finally get it all set up. Well, I did that, so I finally got all there. So I downloaded the said demo, and when it begins, it does feel a lot like Yakuza in the way that it works and the sort of the combat and all that kind of stuff. It's very similar. You can pick shit up. You can hit people with it like you would in Yakuza.
It looks like Yakuza.
It looks like Yakuza. Obviously,
It
the
is
city's
Yakuza.
But then you see, it starts off
Then
like
you go
Yakuza,
into a
but then it
courtroom.
changes. It changes. No, there's no courtroom as of yet.
There will be.
I'm hoping there is because that would make it kind of cooler. But then it changes. You're sort of this like equalizer dude who's helping people who need helping out. And I kind of like that about it. But the second part of this here demo is you sneaking around gathering evidence by photographing this dude who's up to no good. So although it kind of feels similar in a lot of respects, i.e. setting and combat and all that stuff, it is different in so much as the objectives that you're given are totally different than what they are in Yakuza. And obviously you're playing it from a goodies side rather than playing it from like a gangster side of.
So you're doing like a friendship at the end of a Mortal Kombat round rather than a fatality.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So, you knock all these dudes out and they're like, oh, who is this dude? But it was very difficult to play because it was all in complete Japanese. So there was no obviously English subtitles or any of that bollocks. So what I did is this is kind of what I did. So I went on YouTube, and the Japanese guy did a walkthrough where he actually said what everybody was saying. So he was sort of describing what everybody was saying to each other in
Why?
Japanese.
It's so much effort, Stu.
I know, that's what I mean. This thing was effort. This was a lot of
So
effort.
why
to play
do it?
Because I wanted to know what the hell
How
was
much
going
time do you have?
So I had the YouTube video trying to sync it up to the part of the game I was in, so I knew what everyone was saying when I was playing.
And do you remember? Was it an interesting story what they were saying, or?
Well, it's quite interesting because it starts off and you're in like your offices with your boss and this other dude, and you're like the star lawyer. So you're the sort of guy who gets all the work in, and the other guy's really like grumpy because he never gets any work because it all goes to you because everybody asks for you when they phone up. So that was kind of funny. But somebody has been accused of setting his house on fire and killing his girlfriend.
Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. And I can't remember exactly who it was. Someone you knew, and obviously that's the start of the story. So that's how it all sort of started out. And it does seem quite interesting. A lot, story driven again, like most of these games are. This is getting a Western release, so I am looking forward to maybe giving this a go. And I think, part of me thinks they're a bit lazy because obviously it's in the exact same setting, so they have to make any
bloody lazy.
So lazy. But at least it feels like a completely different take on the city and, a completely different aspect of gameplay, characters and stuff. So I'm quite interested. I love my Yakuza games, and I can't see any reason why I probably won't enjoy playing this as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I should imagine
you'll fucking love it.
I fucking will. I'm just gonna
Of course
love Judge. So if you want to have a go, you've got to do a lot of faff to get a Japanese account and all that stuff. But it is worth a look. It's only about 25 minutes long. I did try and look what else was on the Japanese store, but I have no clue, man. That thing was mental. There was shit everywhere. It's not set up like the UK store at all. It feels completely different. So yeah, it was a bit weird. But I know which Japanese symbols mean demo now, so I know which bit to look in.
Oh, good. That'll come in useful.
Yeah, even if they move it around a bit. Yeah, I can't imagine I'll sort of go on very often, but you never know. There might be something else come out over there, like the Catherine remastered demo might be on there at some point to play before it comes over here.
I will leave the show if you play that.
I'm going to play it. I am going to play it. And that's it for Judge Eyes. What about you, Duke? Have you played out this week?
I have played some stuff this week. First of all, there's a new season of Rocket League. Oh, yeah. But there's nothing much to say about it, so I'm going to move on. Other than to say the reward for last season was a new boost, but this is funny. I'm actually getting bored with these rewards now because the first time I qualified for Platinum, I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to get the Platinum reward. And then it was like a goal explosion that I never used. I'm like, oh, that doesn't matter. And then they had the banners last season, which was like, okay, whatever. And then it was the boost this season. I'm like, no, thanks. I used it for like a day, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, is it finally waning your love affair with Rocket League? Is that what you're saying?
No. Not the game. Just the
right, okay.
Separate
yeah.
things.
Just with the bollocks and shit that they give you for nothing.
Especially but the season pass thing or whatever it is, that's actually giving me good stuff because now instead of putting Rocketeer as my title, and everyone goes, you suck for a Rocketeer. How are you a Rocketeer? You suck. Instead, I have Quick Chat Champion, and I type very quickly in the chat, so I am an actual Quick Chat Champion.
You are very good at that.
So it's not just a little cute title, but they also have like Ball Chaser. And as soon as I have somebody on my team who puts that as their title, I'm like, I hate you because you're trying to be cute, but you probably do that. So why are you trying to claim that you do a thing that everybody hates when people do it?
You should have put maybe Quick Chat Insult Champion.
But see, that's not an option. They just give you the title and you can use it.
Oh, I get you. So you can't. I thought you could choose your own.
Well, I would put something awesome and amazing in there.
So if you could choose your own, what would it be?
It'd be some weird reference that no one gets.
I know, yeah, it would.
Because my username is Walter Subcheck, so we trade Big Lebowski references throughout the whole game if there's somebody who knows it. It was funny. Somebody joined the game recently, and they were like, why are you playing on the computer today, Walter? Isn't it Schumer Shabbos? And I was like, shut the fuck up, Donnie. And so we were trading jokes from the Big Lebowski. And then this other guy in the game goes, do you guys know each other? I was like, shut up, Donnie. You're out of your element. So anyway, that's Rocket League. I'm not going to talk about Rocket League. What I'm going to talk about is a game that I played this one of the last 2 weeks recently.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's called Between the Stars.
Ooh.
And this is a demo game that's not out yet. It's coming.
Ooh.
And it's a space game.
Oh.
And you fly a spaceship around.
Oh no.
You have to take on missions and deal with space. And it's kind of a bog standard space game.
Is it in 3D? It is, or is it?
It has 3 dimensions.
Oh my
There's
god.
2, like many Star games. This has 3.
3.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing really special about it. The graphics are fine. The sound is fine. The controls are okay.
The
They're
graphics
really
look
not
whack.
Do you know when people come up with these ideas, I go, right, we're going to make a video game. What shall we make? What's not been done before? Why did he pick stuff that's been done so many times?
They can't all be pigeon fucking games, can they?
No, but you know, there's a lot of
At least they did
space
something
games
different.
out there.
At least they did something different.
Well, what did you do that was different? What's
They did-
different
I'm
about
not-
this game
I'm not
than a real
disputing
space
that. I'm saying,
exploration game?
You want someone to do something different just for the sake of doing different. Nobody's had a pigeon fucking game yet.
I wouldn't
And-
mind, but no pigeons fucking that game.
Let me know when
for
you
the
want me to
record.
talk about this game I played.
For the record, no pigeons fuck.
Oh, the
by the
graphics
way.
look better now.
I'm glad that we all
Yes,
think so.
brightened up a bit.
So the game is.
So come on then.
Shall I?
Yeah, why not?
The game is fine. It's yeah, I actually got bored halfway through the demo, so I stopped playing before the demo was
That's
over.
a good recommendation for
Oh,
this.
Good sign. Oh. Yeah, it was just, it doesn't, the controls aren't great. The voice acting is okay, but not wonderful. The missions are totally dull. And yeah, as soon as I got done playing this demo, quitting it rather, I said to myself, oh, I'm going to go play Rebel Galaxy because that's a good space game.
Do you know what I'm seeing now, though, looking at the proper gameplay?
What's that?
This is kind of Borderlands in space. It's all like a bit cel-shaded and stuff, isn't it?
But Borderlands is a really fun game.
Yeah, that's true. That is also true. But
Yes, I mean, I hate being mean because there are some things that this game does well in terms of like you dock near the space station, you got to be kind of precise but not totally precise, and it's more, it's leaning a little more toward the realistic side, not much more, but a little bit. Yeah, it's just it's totally meh. The whole game is just meh. So between
it's not like Elite Dangerous if you sort of happen to stray near a space station with some sort of unlicensed goods in your hold, they just shoot you down. That doesn't happen.
That didn't happen here. I don't even know how you deal with goods. All I remember is there is when you kill an enemy, and I was able to kill the enemies pretty easily, so that's good because there's a lot of space games where the enemies show up and they just obliterate me, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? But I was able to kill the enemies in this, and then you get this like salvage pod. And then you get it back to the space station, you open it up, and it's like a crate. It's like, whoosh, it has this opening animation, and the lights come out of it and everything. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of neat. And then I was like, wait a minute, are they going to try to monetize this? But then in the loading screen, it says, salvage crates will never cost money, and blah, blah, blah. There's no profit. The game does not feature extra content or something. So I was like, well, that's good. But then it's just like, okay, I'm getting all these resources and I have no idea what they're for. And there was this long process where it was like, oh, you need to create an ion thruster. And it's like, okay, go into this menu and assign someone to do the research because you got a blueprint, and then use these materials and you have to iodize the chromium or whatever. And I was just like, oh, this is so complex. Why not just buy ion thruster? Like, that's easier.
Because then it's not a complicated game to play anymore, is it? People.
The complication should come from something worthwhile.
I guess I'm not into all that crafting bullshit anyway. So
I don't mind crafting in and of itself, as you know, but like I said, the combat, you got a reticule and you're supposed to aim at the ships and shoot them, which is nice because Rebel Galaxy's combat is not as smooth, but whatever. It just after you killed a few ships, it was like, okay, now what? I don't really care that much. So Between the Stars, meh. Can't really.
Yeah, it looks
strong.
a bit meh, if I'm being really honest.
So that's that.
What about you, Chinny? Back over to you. What else have you been playing then? Real games. What real games have you been playing?
Don't say that. That's not very nice.
Well, not sort of non-EGX demo type games.
All right. So I've talked about this to you, Stu, but no one has heard it. So I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yay!
Ba 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 lang. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with this game.
Uh-oh.
My opinion of it, and I said this to Stuart, is like a scale. Do you know what I mean? Like it goes up and down very like rapidly. Like
Oh no.
that animation, by the way, is exactly right.
Yeah, it is.
So
Listen to this full music.
yeah, boom. Yeah. So I didn't like when I started this game. I didn't like it when I was 5 hours in. I didn't like it when I was 10 hours in.
Wow.
And I didn't like it when I was 15 hours in.
I love the fact that you still played it. Though,
I will
even though-
finish the game.
Chinny
Stu.
finishes everything.
He does, that is true.
And Chinny's a hardcore Zelda fanboy. Like you
I
played.
wouldn't call myself. No. I wouldn't call myself a
hard.
Zelda fanboy. I'd
You
like
played a lot of Zelda games.
my history of Zelda games is I like them, and like every one I've played I've liked, but I haven't played the shit ones. So I've played.
And to be fair, this is not classed as one of the shit ones, is it?
No, like this is the thing that's confusing me. Is like people play this and go, "It's one of the best games ever made," and every time I say, "Oh," I go, "Keep going," and people keep going.
You'll love it eventually.
Keep
goddamn.
going. So then there was a point where I just couldn't put it down, even though I wasn't getting on with it. I mean, and I kept on
Brilliant.
dying, and you know, I knew going in that the weapons break, right? So I kept on doing this and that, and go against this, and I die again, and oh my god!
Because when I spoke to you last, you hadn't even attempted to do one of the boss fights, had you? If I
well, the
remember
reason
right.
why I
Is that
hadn't
true?
attempted it is because I misunderstood what I had to do. Was I had to, you got to get these 20 shock arrows, right? So I got those, but I thought I had to kill the fucking centaur thing that was walking
Which you
around.
don't. Which I explained. No. They're
So-
rock.
Because I
You
couldn't.
listen to Stu more, Chinny. Come on.
so
You
I
should
couldn't-
listen to me more, man.
Okay, go on then.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't. No, when we discussed
Floor's
this, I was saying
yours.
at the time.
I'll never talk
They,
again.
they are the hardest.
Why did I come back on the show?
hardest enemies
You're
in
not
the game?
prepared
I was
to
just
listen to
saying they
me.
were the hardest
Yeah,
enemies,
how
man.
this works, Chinny.
God, stop being so stroppy. Right, carry on.
Right.
Or you could stop interrupting every 5 minutes.
I'm
Yeah,
trying.
maybe try that.
Whatever. Should've.
So I'm playing this fucking game, and
Yeah.
I'm getting battered every fuck. You know, exactly like that animation where you
Yeah.
know, you come across a thing and you die, and then you come across another thing, then you die, and then you try and climb up a thing, then it rains, and then you fucking go to the top of the thing, then you're cold and you die, and then you go another place, and then you burn to death and you die, and then you get struck by lightning and you
You
die.
are wandering around though.
And like the game is just fucking brutal. Do you know what I mean? It's just so
Oh, yeah, it
fucking
is.
annoying. But then I just couldn't put it down. Right? I was like, fucking hell. Why do I keep coming back to it? Right? Why do I keep trying to play it? So then I asked Jamie, who's a big fan of Zelda. He's played it twice, right? So Jamie works for me. And I brought my Switch and I went, Jamie, what the fuck is going on with this game? Because everybody bums this game and I don't like it, but I keep playing it. And he was like, well, let me have a look at your save. So he looked at my save and he went, well, you're pretty much on the right track, really. Like, you know, nothing wrong with like how many hearts you've got and the weapons you've got. You seem to be dealing with that fine. So the only thing that you're not really doing is upgrading your armor. So I was like, I'll show you how to do that. So he showed me how to do that. So he took me to the big titty fairy woman and she upgraded.
Oh yeah, there's a few of them.
There's a few of them. I found 2 of them now. And like, you know, she upgraded my armor and all that sort of stuff. And Jamie explained like the armor upgrade. He says, apart from that, you know, and he showed me the things you can sell. He's like, sell this, sell that, sell this. All right. So apart from that, you're pretty much on the right track. Just sort of keep going if you're enjoying it. So I was like, okay. So I kept on going, and I suppose I'll say this. I've said this to you before, Stuart. And so forgive me for repeating myself, but no one else has heard it. But it's like it's this sense of like open worldness that everybody bums, all right? And like, you know how open everything is, and how you can do anything in any order is this amazing thing.
You
And-
could go right to Ganon if you want.
I know, and I remember somebody reviewing Link to the Past and comparing it to the original Legend of Zelda, right? And their argument was that Legend of Zelda is better because you can do anything in any order, all right? And Link to the Past has this, you have to do this in this order, and this order, therefore it's not as good. And I always just think, well, what's the fucking, who cares about that? Like, I like, I
Is that
like,
a big
but I like a structure. I like a video game to be a video game sometimes. I like an order. Like, what's wrong with an order? All right? So there's this big sort of trend against, like having a structure and stuff. You know, like, really, when you look at it, Breath of the Wild does have an order, but it's hidden, all right? It's all sort of behind, like, mystery.
Yeah. You can go anywhere you want. You're going to get stomped to death as
You're
soon
gonna
as you
get
enter.
fucked. So if you try and go to get it, you get fucked up. If you go to the top of like if you go to the warm area, you're gonna burn to death. You know what I mean?
You're
So
going to freeze.
you're gonna freeze. So really, the game does steer you in a way to get to certain places. And you know you've got to figure it out. So you obviously you go to the hot area, you think, well, I can't stay here because I've got to go. So that's an area you can't go into. Therefore, the open going anywhere you want, doing anything in any order is bollocks. So you can't do that first because you'll burn to it. So anyway, I just wanted to go on a rant about what's the problem with order. Like, why do people care about order?
Question.
Because I don't mind it. So then, when I started
Sorry, let me interrupt. Since you asked the question, I mean, the one thing I'll say, the reason I love Skyrim, of course, is because, well, okay, so what Skyrim does is it levels the enemies. So you could go and do, you know, you can go to places that are tough, but you're going to have an easier time of it than you will when you go, if you go there when you're kind of quote unquote supposed to go there. You know what I mean? So I like having openness in a game like Skyrim and Fallout, but at the same time, the story is kind of pushing you this way and that in order to get you to do things in a certain way, but you're not locked into it. And I think what a lot of people like, and I don't know about this game because you know I didn't care for it in general, but you know, there's a lot of things that people like about having that freedom.
Yeah, people like freedom. But
you see, what I liked about Zelda was trying to figure out how you could go to those areas where you couldn't go to.
Yeah, you
so
do
it was
that.
trying to work out.
And then it
that's
fucking
what I
rains.
liked. Well, that's always.
Do you know what I mean?
happen.
Then it rains, and like, fuck, you know. And it's like, oh, right, I got to climb up this thing. It's raining. Right, I'm just gonna put this switch down and do something else for a bit while it's raining. What I think I like about the game is that it feels really it feels like a really well built world, right? So everything has like laws to it, you know. For example, it's a little thing, but it's subtle, and it's this, you know, when you know the bomb that you can sort of conjure out of nowhere, your little bomb.
Yeah.
If you pick the round bomb, it'll roll, right, and it'll roll like a real bomb, and like all the physics are real. So like you're running up a hill, and you can put that bomb, put it to the ground, and it'll roll down and hit the guys that are chasing you up the hill, and then your brain starts to trigger that. And starts to work that out sort of naturally. So then the brain goes, okay, if wood sets on fire, then, you know, and then the game starts to say, oh, if you create a spark, then you can create a fire, and then you start to go, okay, so this game sticks to the same laws of the real world, so therefore, I should be able to do X, Y, and Z, you know. So you start to sort of work the world out and go,
It's the same thing. If you need heat, you put a hot pepper in or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, so the rules of the world start to sort of slowly seep into you. It's just that we're so used to playing video games where, you know, it sort of tells you everything. So I appreciate that.
And sorry, just to pick up on that, hang on. We also have to remember that most games aren't like that, and it's usually a guessing game about what rules the developers are putting in the game and which ones they're not.
Correct.
Because let's be real, not all the laws of physics are going to be, or the laws of, you know, necessary concepts following each other. Those aren't all going to be in the game. So it's still a matter of guessing what the developers have done. It's just they've done a lot more in this game than a lot of other games.
It just.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely true.
The real the world that we live in, the rules of that world feel like they've sort of that is the same of Breath of the Wild, and that's very impressive. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like to feel like, and then I thought about that and go, okay, so that's why it's brutally hard, and that's why your weapons break, and that's why you can get struck by lightning. It's not because the developer's trying to, like, it's the developer isn't trying to punish you in any way. It's trying to teach you that like this world is not about you, right? You've just got to work your way around it, and I started to sort of appreciate for what it is. I still don't like the way how everything's so sterile in the world and how everything seems just so blank and sort of, you know, you sort of spend a lot of time just wandering around and stuff. And you have to figure a lot of stuff out, which I suppose it might be because I'm not, you know, 15 years old, right? Because if I was younger, I suppose even if I was in my 20s, you know, and I had all that time, then I would probably appreciate it a bit more. Because I'm at an age now where like time is like I've got to fucking crack on with it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, and I'm trying to sort of get things done. Zelda's not about that. It's about just like, just go out there and just.
It's about, yeah, it's and that right. It's about exploring the world, and you have to. It's not just optional. That's the thing. In Skyrim, exploring the world is to some extent optional.
Yes.
I mean, everyone's going to do it, but you don't have to. But in this game,
correct.
you have to explore.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's when you pay a penalty.
That might be
Well,
one
yeah.
of the reasons why you don't like it as well, because you're like, you know, you're very busy. You're always time conscious and stuff.
Well, and that's the crazy thing about it is I love the freedom of Skyrim, but I don't want to have to enjoy that freedom. I want the illusion of freedom, basically.
You see, the thing is, I disagree with that in Duke's case because he spent countless hours playing
Maybe.
Rocket League, so it's not a time issue
Maybe.
for Duke. Really.
Well, it is a time issue because if I love the game, then I'm going to put a lot of time into it. But if I'm
Exactly. So, but
crazy
it's
about
not.
it,
Yeah,
it
but it's not that you haven't got enough time. It's just you don't want to spend that time doing it.
well, it's precious, and so I want to spend it on the game
Yeah.
that I love rather than spending it in some game that I'm not so crazy
So
about.
can you go over why you didn't like it then, Duke?
It was first of all, I wasn't good at it, right? Like it felt like every battle was, I didn't know if I was going to make it through that battle. And I couldn't feel myself getting stronger. Now, maybe I didn't stick around with it long enough. Maybe I didn't. And, you know, as I said, when I played it, I recognize that all these things you're talking about are really well done. The aesthetics are beautiful, and I accept that. So I'm willing to put the onus of this on me. But the fact that I had to keep picking different weapons, again, it's a weird thing of mine, but I like having a weapon that I'm using over and over again. And even if I have to repair it, that's fine. I'm used to that, you know, Minecraft or whatever. If it slowly wears away, that makes sense. I don't like that mechanic necessarily, but I'll live with it. But the fact that these weapons would break after every fight and sometimes in the middle of a fight, and I was like, and then I had to figure out what I had with me, and sometimes I didn't have any good weapons, and it was just like, So I felt real tense when I was playing it a lot.
You see, I appreciate what both of you were saying, right? But to your argument, Chinny, that you're just too old now is just bollocks. Because you know, and I don't want to sound like I'm going, I was really good at this game, because I don't think I was. But I didn't have any of the struggles that you've been having. And I'm older than you, so that argument's mute.
No, but I'm not saying because I'm dying all the time. I'm just saying of how like little you do in the game. Like
I don't understand what that's got to do with your age.
Because the reason why is because like I like a game where you feel like you're sort of progressing. You know what I mean? Like you're getting shit done, right? And like in Zelda, what I've been doing for about 20 hours is wandering around, finding shrines, and going into shrines and getting things, and then
but that I don't think that's true either, because I don't think I played this more than 40 hours. And I finished the game, I'd unlocked every tower and sort of done all the stuff. But you've got to do the main game objective stuff, like, you know, go and do one of the bosses, you know, and find out which boss you can get to
well,
first.
I've done a boss. I've done a boss now.
And that's how you progress, though.
So when you killed that boss, Chinny, you didn't feel like you were making progress?
So, like, I haven't got onto that bit yet, right? So I finally, like, after, like, Stu said to me, like, you don't need to kill that fucking centaur thing, right? For some reason.
No.
I thought that was I wasn't paying attention, because also, this game is anime as fuck. Like, I don't care, like, what people...
Oh, yeah.
It's so, like, the one thing I don't like about it is when you talk to any character, all right, because they're all just fucking annoying. And, like, Link, We couldn't afford a better voice actress. You know, I don't like any of that. But so I misread the fucking blokes. I thought the centaur thing was the thing that I was trying to kill, right? I didn't understand that shit. And then
I mean, well, I hate to sort of diss you or anything at this point, but he very clearly says, collect 20 arrows and come back to me with them. He tells you to do that.
I was on a plane, Stu. I was on a plane, and also he doesn't say it. He fucking says it in text.
Well, he does. You have to read stuff.
Yes.
Well, that's the difference between me and you. You see, I follow the story and,
all hail
take
Stu.
notes. No, well, maybe this is the reason, though. It's not anything to do with I'm a better player than you. It's just I take notice of what's going on, I guess.
Fucking, I could be asked to read. So, anyway, I obviously read it because I saw the 20 shock arrows, but I don't know. Anyway, so I did that, right? And I went to the fucking... And you were wrong, Stu, because you said after a...
Did you not respawn?
After a blood moon, they respawn. They did not, right? So then I had to fucking Google, all right, where do I buy shock arrows from? So then there's some town right at the bottom of the map, and I went down there, and I bought a lot of shock arrows. Great. So then, now I've got shock arrows coming out my arsehole. I got loads of them.
You got more than 20.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I went to the dude. I went to the fucking elephant. That's what it is, isn't it? It's an elephant.
It is an elephant. The first one,
I absolutely loved that bit. I thought that was great.
They are cool, the bosses.
The boss was cool. It was like, like a puzzle. It was a whole puzzle. It was a big puzzle level. It actually felt like a level, and it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to figure some parts out, and then you figure them out, and when you figure them out, you feel great, and that's where the game sort of started to come. So if I felt like if I sort of did that sooner, I would be a lot more sort of positive on it quicker. I am positive on the game. I do like the game. I think it's a great game, but it really sort of it didn't help itself, I don't think. It doesn't want to be liked. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. I don't care if you like me or not. But yeah, so that was Zelda. I'm enjoying it. I'm still making my way through it. I've done one of the elephants now. I don't really know what my next plan is. I don't know. I'm going to try and go to that big flying bird thing. There's a big bird
Have you done?
thing.
I mean, the other thing I found was, and I don't know whether this is cheating the game or whatever, but I did one of the towers and it was quite a long. What I tried to do early on in the game was just unlock as many towers as possible. Because they're your fast travel points, so you can get around the land a lot quicker by doing
and the shrines are fast travel points as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you can fast travel to all those locations. And then I unlocked one that was sort of in a lot of jungly tree area. And I found there was this like little plateau directly opposite. And it had loads of Dorano fruits growing there, which are the ones that give you millions of extra hearts when you cook them up.
Well, the one thing I do like about this game is the cooking.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I like doing the cooking because like I've always got loads of like different like little ingredients and things. And elixirs. How do you spell it?
Elixirs or whatever they are.
I've got loads of them. They're all good. I like that. I like hearing the little tune.
So I spammed that a lot. So I would go, like every time there was a blood moon, I'd go back again because obviously they all respawn. And then I would get a load more of those and I'd cook all those up ready for the next battles, because you can obviously increase the number of hearts you have artificially. And then there's a dude in the wintry bit who does this temping bowling thing.
Oh, okay.
And he gives you loads of cash every time you win. So like it makes it a lot easier to buy stuff and what have you. Yeah. And you can spam that as well. If you can just you can get into the knack of bowling a strike every time, and he gives you loads of cash. So I used to spam.
I'm
that
never
a
short
lot,
of cash though.
No,
I'm all right
that
for
is
cash.
true. That is true. And then the other thing is, it was a bit like the original Dead Rising.
Yeah.
And when you started the game again, all the weapons would like the best, like the mini Uzis and all that. If you knew where they were, you could just go and get them again.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like that because again, when there's a blood moon, if you find a place where there's a really cool weapon that's really powerful, that respawns again the next time there's a blood moon. So if you go back to that place, it's there again to collect.
Yeah.
How you get a really good weapon in Skyrim? You make it.
Well, I get you.
Well, that's a different game. But the other thing that I like about the game is that like no matter where you go, there's always something on the horizon. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always something like on the edge of the horizon that looks interesting, and that's always by design. So that's cool. I think it's a good game. It is a good game. I don't think I'm gonna put it down as my favorite Zelda ever. But I appreciate how clever and how smart it is. Maybe I'll have a different opinion of it when I'm going through it, but I'm not going to put it down anytime soon.
I mean, it definitely rewards you for exploring.
I have explored a fucking lot in this. I don't think you understand.
Oh no,
how
I don't disagree.
long I've
But
been
there's so
fucking
much
playing this
stuff to
game.
find. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the battle shrines are always really useful. Once you start doing those, because
That's what I did in the queue of Metro.
Yeah, they're on the battle shrines. You can get
Yeah.
such cool weapons from them,
Yeah.
and armor and stuff, and shields. So yeah, they're always worth doing. And there's loads of them. There's loads of the battle shrines.
Yeah.
But you've just got to find them all, and then just and they get progressively harder as well. And some of those are excruciatingly hard.
Well, the one that I was doing while I was in the Metro queue took me the whole queue to do. It took me ages to do it.
And when you do it though, it does reward you for doing it. You get some proper cool gear.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely worth doing.
I'm not a massive fan of the combat, I have to say. I think the combat isn't brilliant. I understand you can sort of jump back and slow things down and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and use your glider and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I've never really sort of felt like it's brilliant, like it's like the best combat ever. I just think it's, decent enough.
But even how far you can glide's governed by your stamina as well, isn't it? So everything's governed by either your stamina or your hearts, isn't it? You can only sort of glide.
Well, I'm talking
so
about the
far.
combat. I'm talking about the combat.
No, I'm just saying though, everything's sort of governed by stuff, isn't it?
The thing that's really brutal is the swimming. Is you can run out of stamina for your swimming, which is really tough. Yeah, so that's Zelda Breath of the Wild. I like it.
Sorry, I'm not going to complain about it. Go ahead.
I like it. It's a good game. It's got a lot of good things about it, but it doesn't exactly help itself, is my opinion of it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I guess you're right. But then I think they wanted to make a game where people did have to explore and discover stuff for themselves rather than being led by the hand. I suppose.
It's like a game that doesn't want to be liked. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's so good, but it doesn't want to be liked. It just doesn't care that you don't really get on with certain things, and you have to learn it yourself. And
now, do you think that way about Dead Dark Souls, Demon Souls, whatever?
I never
played.
played.
Do you feel it's the same thing there?
Never played them.
Yeah.
Never played them. So
yeah, it isn't that brutally hard though. It's
no,
not
it's
on
not
the
like
Dark
that.
Souls
I think
level.
If the same dynamic is at work.
They're out to get you, aren't they? Dark Souls. You know what I mean? They want.
Yeah,
want to get
they're to brutalize you. That's all that game wants to do.
I guess this isn't trying to do that necessarily.
No, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it is what it is, and you've just got to get on with it. Whereas Dark Souls,
you can get as good as you want. It's still going to be tough.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is more. You
learn the rules. Yeah.
If you were willing to put the time in, you could overcome this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you'll just get brutalized if you happen to wander into the wrong place.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Breath of the Wild does.
Anyway, Zelda done.
Zelda done. Right, back to me in that case. And yeah, while I was at EGX, I'm sure it was Chris MJW who said, there's a game that you might like, Stu, called Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
Because it's Japanesey and stuff. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not queuing for that. And he was like, oh, it's okay. Because there's a demo on the PS Store. Now, it might not have been Chris, so if it isn't, I apologize. But somebody told me to play this, said I thought that I might like it. And I played it, and I thought it was shit. I hated it.
Oh, snap.
It really is not my sort of game.
Shots fired!
At all. I really did not get on with it. The voice acting was terrible. It's an anime type Japanese game, and it just, I don't know, the animations were a bit weird. It graphically didn't look that great, and it just didn't feel like a decent story either. So all the things I like were not in this game. And I get that people think I'm just a Japanese fanboy and I'll play sort of anything, and stuff. But it just was not for me.
No, you're not a Japanese fanboy. You're a weird shit fanboy.
Not necessarily.
No, you like weird shit.
Well, this is about as weird as it gets.
It's got to have a
This
good
is
story,
literally-
though. It has to have a good story.
It's got to have a decent story.
No, it's got to have a
But-
story.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's got to have a good story,
It's a
though.
beat 'em up, Duke.
Pigeon sex.
Yeah, this is just look, and they're all just crowd round him, and it's all the AI was a bit weird, and you know, if this demo I think that's on the screen now doesn't have you can have the gore turned on, and when you kill one, the heads explode and stuff.
Cool.
You know, so that does look kind of cool, but
So what's the problem?
I just didn't feel it. It just felt like Mortal Kombat, but more like a story-based thing of Mortal Kombat. I don't know. I didn't like it. It just wasn't my thing at all. So yeah, no. It was a no. I'm sorry.
No,
Oh yeah, you
for
just
the
saw a
fist
head
of-
explode then.
Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. So thanks for the recommendation anyway. Glad I didn't queue up for the EGX because that would have been bad. Because I don't know. It feels like it's trying to be a Japanese Mad Max. Is how it felt when I was playing it. Or Borderlands, you know, it felt quite a bit aesthetically a bit like Borderlands. I like things to be a little bit more serious somehow. You know,
Sorry?
this just felt
What
like
did you say?
serious.
Yakuza.
Yakuza's serious. You know, I get people like these kinds of games and stuff, but it's just not for me. I like the main
My
storyline
God.
is serious.
The main storyline. You chose your words.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And all that stupid stuff is optional. You don't have to do any of the stupid
you
stuff
still
you
do
don't
it.
want.
So if the
Well, of
main
course you do.
is serious, but everything else around it is ridiculous, you'll be like, oh, it's a serious.
Yeah,
game.
but whoa. Hold up a minute, people. We've all played GTA 5, and some of those side missions are fucking ridiculous.
I'm not making your argument.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
well,
that's what I'm saying. They're all the
It's a
same.
serious, interesting, worthwhile story about human frailty.
You know, don't get me wrong, right? GTA 5 has a fairly serious main storyline about three guys who are trying to, rob stuff.
Well,
But then it has all the ridiculous
Yeah,
side
main
missions and
storyline,
crazy shit
yeah.
going on.
yeah, is
They're all the same.
A heartbreaking decision to make about whether his best friend lives.
It's
There's
just.
your main storyline in GTA 5.
Well, I guess. It's just that in Yakuza games, the side missions are even more ridiculous, that's all.
Perverted.
Not all the time. Look, you guys.
If the answer
have
is not
this
all the
weird
time-
perception.
You up is what
They're
it is.
not. Those are very few and far between. You're making out like every one of them is, but they're not. Well, you're
that's-
just making a snap
you-
judgment on something you've
Oh,
never
don't
played.
worry, Stu. I'll fucking play these games.
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will at some
I'll
point
get
in
to 'em.
time.
I'm all about.
But you
get
are
to 'em.
making snap judgments, and I disagree with people making judgments on things you've never
I
played.
played a demo of Yakuza 3, and in it, I had to take a picture of a schoolgirl. In the demo.
That's possible. I don't know. I can't comment
In
on
the
that
demo,
because that's a long
Stu.
time ago. That's a long time ago.
The
But
demo
I'm
is
sure
the
it's
part of the
true.
game where they have to sell it to people.
I'm
and
sure
that's
it's
what they
true.
made me do.
But Japanese people are weird. They have some
Wow.
weird
Yeah,
fetishes.
not like
Wow.
American.
Well, let's be honest, right? If they didn't, this stuff wouldn't be in the games, and there wouldn't be all these weird Japanese sex games
So
available.
does that
would
mean
there?
that Americans are weird because of GTA 5?
Yeah, but they're not up to, as we've said, that you wouldn't have a sex mini game or any of that malarkey in a
There's
GTA
this-
5. They are ridiculous
San Andreas,
side missions.
isn't there?
There's what? Sorry?
Isn't there a stripper mini game in San Andreas?
There possibly is. I
There
don't
is a-
know. I've never
the-
played
What are
it
you
all.
talking about?
There is a sex minigame.
But let me put this to you
Mark
then.
Hoppy.
You don't give that game the same amount of grief as you do a Yakuza game.
Everything grief.
But you don't. No, I'm sorry, but you don't. And Chinny, you certainly don't.
No, because they're great.
Yeah, so it's all right to sleep with
Yes.
a prostitute and shoot them in a GTA game,
Yep.
but not all right to have a
think
bit
we
of
should move on.
perversion or sexy stuff in a Yakuza game.
What's your final judgment of Fist of the North Star?
It's shit. I don't want to play it.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
He's got
I
bullet
didn't like
holes in
it.
his chest.
Yeah, no,
Just
he's hard.
Thumbs down from Stu.
It does. I like a lot of these types of games, but this, not for me.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. That's it for me for that. So, Duke, back over to you.
Yeah, I played a demo. I think Stu might like this game I'm going to talk about next. It's called Cube Escape Paradox.
Oh.
And it's from a developer called like Rusty Lake or something. And apparently they've done a bunch of games of some of the similar vibe.
I feel like I've heard of them.
Well, that may be because a lot of the reviews said Rusty Lake's done it again. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about Rusty Lake or what they've done again, but it's kind of like The Guest in that you wake up in a room and you have no idea what's going on. Who am I? What's happening? and you have to solve a lot of puzzles. Now, unlike The Guest, you only have this one room to deal with, so you have to keep going back and forth for different rooms. Which, you know what? Maybe this is my age talking, but I'm glad that I didn't have to keep going to different rooms because, I talked about the other one that I had played, the 2D one.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, didn't we, last week or the last time?
I wanted to like it, but there was so much moving from room to room. So the fact that this all takes place in one room was very nice. Very nice. But the formula is very straightforward. Like we know, what happened? There was a murder. Someone's dead, and we have to figure out why and how. And you are not going to get answers. And there's a woman. And the aesthetics are good. The graphics are solid. The gameplay is generally good. The best thing about it, aside from the aesthetics, the sound, the music, the graphics are solid, is the variety of puzzles. I actually really like that. So as you saw on the stream, when you put the pieces of the puzzle, the photo together, it gives you a word to type into the typewriter. And over the course of the game, you get other words to type into the typewriter. And, there's different ways to manipulate things, and you color stuff in, which is kind of interesting. And, I was impressed by the variety of puzzles because there's others later on where you're like rearranging rooms inside a person's head and stuff like that. But I got to be honest, like you get so few answers, and the whole thing is like, well, maybe this guy that you're playing is involved in the murder and he's bleeding from the head and we don't know why. And it's all very like weird for the sake of weird. It's just like spooky.
But I've just been having a look on the website, and it's part of this massive series of Cube escape games. So there's loads of these.
Right. So the first one's free, and then they want you to presumably buy other ones. And it's funny because on this one that you're looking at now, the dude colored in the thing, but it still didn't go to the next thing. And I was like, I did that too. And I think you just have to color in the person rather than whatever. Anyway, the point is, if there's answers to be had later on, I'm not going to find out about it because although I didn't hate this game, I was really frustrated by the fact that you leave with so few answers. And so I'm not going to invest in other episodes.
Yeah, I'm just looking now to see if they are all free because, it comes up as free when you first. Oh, yeah, I see. So Paradox is free, and then the others are $1.99 on Steam.
Correct.
So that's what you do. So you buy all the others then once you bought.
Others. Because the other thing is, there were a few spots where I had to go to a walkthrough, and part of it was because I was just so annoyed by how, again, kind of like you said with Breath of the Wild, Chenny, I felt like I wasn't making progress, and I was annoyed by that. So I was like, where am I going here? And if I had really thought that it was worth my time, I might have just stuck to doing the puzzles and try to figure them out myself. But eventually I realized, and it's one of those things where I went to the walkthrough and I looked at the answer to one of the puzzles and I was like, how was I supposed to figure that out?
So you see, I'm looking at this in the business model, and it feels a lot like the cheap books on Kindle, where they give you the first 4 books for free, and then there's another 10 of them, and they're all about 99 pence each.
That in and of itself, that doesn't bother me as a business model. I don't care about that, but I care about the fact that look, if you like Twin Peaks, you might like this game because it's like, again, weird for the sake of weird. You're not going to get answers to everything or really anything, and that bugged me.
Yeah, because they wanted you to buy the other games to find out.
I guess, but if you want to get my money, give me a 1 or 2 answers at the end of this game, and then I'll be like, okay, that was worth my time. I'll go on to these other things and get even more answers. Nope. It's just stuff that happened. It's all weird. I don't know what to tell you.
There you go. Who knows?
That annoyed me. But like I said, the variety of puzzles is good. Graphics are good. And there's like a movie you can watch that goes along with this. It's basically the same events in the game or in the movie. So there's really, it's interesting to see that they made a movie out of it, and it's, good at, the acting seems okay, and the aesthetics certainly look great. They made this room in real life, or else they, did a bunch of CGI, but that was kind of interesting. It didn't make me want to play the game anymore, but whatever.
I look at it. I don't get, they've probably got a big enough budget for CGI, so they probably just mocked up a room, I guess.
Yeah, well, probably. But, it looks good. The movie looks good. It's just, I don't know. I think some of the puzzles are opaque. That's all I can say, because that seems to be a thing with a lot of these games. It's very, even Myst had that stupid sound maze, right?
I think part of it though is they feel like they don't want to make it too easy, so people complain that it was too easy, and then they don't want to make it too hard. And it is finding that happy medium, isn't it? In the middle somewhere.
But I'll tell you this, man. Those people who complain about it being too easy, they don't have my life, because nothing makes me happier than sitting down with the Monday puzzle page from the newspaper, because I know that the Sudoku is going to take me about 5 minutes, the crossword puzzle will take me about 10 minutes, and I'll be done in a little bit. Like, it's not, I don't want some brain busting challenge. Oh, how do I figure this out? That's every day in the classroom for me. So
yeah, just stick to Gone Home. You'll be fine.
Pretty much. Yeah, whatever. And that's the thing. If your story's good enough, then the purpose of the puzzles doesn't have to be to cause someone an aneurysm. There's a guy named Rust Hills who wrote a book about writing in general and short story in particular. And he said the problem with most, mystery stories is that it relies on a wow or aha ending. And the more interesting the story is, therefore, in the middle, the less satisfying it's going to be at the end. And I think that's really true, because the whole purpose of it is to keep you guessing and try to show he says the writer is in competition with the reader rather than partnership. And that really is a good way to put it, because the movies that I love that have an aha ending, Usual Suspects, Sixth Sense, Fight Club, even after you see it, you don't go, oh, okay, well, I didn't see that coming. The end. Now I'm done with it forever. Instead, I want to go back and watch it again. But movies that don't work like that, like The Happening, I never even saw The Happening, but I didn't want to watch it because I was like, I'm curious to know what the aha thing is. But once you find out what it is, you're like, oh, trees are killing people. So what? That sounds idiotic. So I feel like this is that sort of thing, where it's like, well, you're not supposed to understand it. Well, then what's the fucking point of telling a story? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, puzzles are a funny thing, really, when you think about it. And I think a great example of this was the original Walking Dead video game, because in the first episode they had quite a lot of standard point-and-click adventure game puzzles, but as this, the game went on and the future episodes released, they became less and less, because what they realized was that people were more invested in the characters and story than they were in solving puzzles.
Well, sure.
And as the games carried on, then they almost became non-existent, really, further on.
Right.
So it is kind of interesting, and you are right.
Right, because story is what people, what I'm interested in. I'm interested in story, not so much proving how brilliant I am. So,
yeah,
whatever.
And I'm the same. I don't have as much time for point-and-click adventure games these days as I used to, because I can't be bothered trying to figure it out.
Right. Like I said, I wanted to like this. There's certain things about it, like there's a cassette tape when you play it, there's weird things and it's kind of spooky. And there are a few moments, there's no jump scares, but it's a few moments where it was like kind of shocking. And I was like, oh God, like that's really unsettling. And it's psychologically unsettling, not just because there's a lot of blood on the screen or loud noises playing or whatever. It's like under your skin, which is, again, it's good. That's effective. Right. But it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough sandwich on the sandwich.
Yeah, not enough filling. Not enough filling there.
Yeah. So that's Cube Escape Paradox. Play it if you
go.
It's free. There's no reason not to play it. Maybe you'll like it better than I did. Who knows?
There you go. Back over to you, Chinny.
Hey.
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 You.
Chin.
I played another game that you've played, Stu.
Ooh. Do I know about this one, or is this something else?
I don't think you know about this one.
Oh.
But you're playing it.
I am. I know what it is now.
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. I got to find that Wu-Tang clip.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I
he
do.
will do. Don't worry, he will.
You don't have to.
You're not going to be able to stop him.
Wu-Tang Clan coming at you.
And there he goes. Yes, so I'm playing Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, and
besides, don't you want something while you're getting the video queued up? You need something to distract the people.
Too hot to handle your battle. You're saying goodbye like Tevin Campbell. Roughneck, Inspector Dex on the set.
Oh man, I think I passed it.
okay.
Let me rewind a little bit.
Tick tock and keep ticking. Well, I get you flipping off the shit I'm kicking. The Lone Ranger, co-ed, danger. Deep in the dark with the art. Razor, the Hellraiser.
Here we go.
Raising hell with the flavor. Terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan. Swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man.
There you
There you
go.
go. Totally worth it.
Totally
Wow.
worth it. He is geeking out right now. I tell you what.
Totally worth it. Right. Ginny, what do you think?
It gives you a lot to learn at the start, and I know what you're going to
It
say,
definitely
Stu.
does.
You're going to say you're going to get used to it. It's great. So
No, I'm not. Fucking tokens. I hate the things.
yeah, it does throw a lot at you. Now I don't know if I've done a mistake here, but I've made the difficulty on hard.
No, I did amazing, and that seems just about right.
Is that normal? Is it?
That's it. Yeah, that's the Goldilocks level right there.
Yeah. So I play.
You see, I didn't. Normally, I pick easy, and I didn't this time. I was like, no, I'm gonna go for amazing, whatever that is.
I played it on. I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty because I heard it wasn't that hard. So yeah, it's an amazing game. It's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely am enjoying it a lot. It doesn't take too long to sort of get the hang of the swinging. You do sort of.
Oh, swinging's brilliant.
You do have to sort of get used to it a little bit. But I say I'm probably like 2 hours in. And it's so good. I mean, he just moves around so well, and it just feels brilliant.
I think what's really good for me once you get used to the swinging is where you start stringing that together with pulling yourself along off buildings as well to propel yourself faster, which makes it really cool.
Yeah.
You know, once you get the flow and you start, you're switching between swinging and dragging yourself on a building and then flinging yourself off that, and it just all flows together and you don't stop. It just feels great.
Yeah. No, it does feel great, and I'm really enjoying the combat as well. I think the combat's fantastic. I think Spider-Man moves brilliantly. I really find it satisfying to dodge. It's just the only thing really, the only sort of negative thing I've got about it is that it's just throwing a lot at you, and there's a lot to take on. But I'm just really looking forward to playing more of it. I enjoyed it so much, and I think like the character of Spider-Man is done really well. I think that it's fun, cartoony sort of fun. You fight.
Take itself seriously.
Exactly. Like, I mean, you fight Kingpin, and he's got machine guns in the pillars of his room. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of game that we're doing.
Well, of course he has. He's a mafia mob boss.
So like you think, okay, and then there's all crazy stuff that happens where you just think, well, this is a video game. All the criminals are very cliche sort of New York criminals, like, come on, hurry up, open the door, and then Spider-Man, you know what you're getting. Do you know what I mean? It's a Spider-Man game, but it's so well made and just beautiful to look at, and I never get tired of looking at it. I'm looking at it now, and I'm just so interested in it.
It is, and I said this the other week. For me, it's the best recreation of New York I've ever played in a video game.
It's great when you get down to the ground because people start looking at you and they're like, "Oh, Spider-Man! Oh, my kid loves you," stuff like
and
that.
scale, but the scale of the city is enormous. They don't feel like they've cut many corners.
I'm sure they have, but it's it's great. And when you try and punch a civilian, have you tried this, Duke?
I haven't. No,
That's the first thing Chinny does when.
Of course it is.
And so I thought, well, they've done such a great job in making, this world. Look, I'm going to punch somebody. So then, what happens is he doesn't punch. He overrides the controls, and he does like a kind of hey kind of gesture or like a wave or something like that.
High five,
and it's perfect. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, it's so.
That one of the first things we do, and okay, in your case, it's punching civilians.
Well, I didn't.
We all do it in various different ways of like, let's test what this game will and will not do. It's sort of like the things in Breath of the Wild. Like, let's find out what the developers expect of us.
Well, that's it. The developers done such a great job. It's put so much care and effort into everything to make you feel like Spider-Man. That Spider-Man wouldn't hit somebody. So I was curious to see what they would do. And the fact that he just sort of gestures, and you can't web sling them, you can't do anything like that, really.
So they're going to impose their morality on you, man.
Exactly. So, and usually, like, I play games bad and stuff like that, but now and play this game. And I'm like, I'm Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a crime going on, and like I'm swinging past it, and I'm trying to get to like these backpacks or whatever, and I'm like, no, I've got to go for the crime because I'm Spider-Man. That's what Spider-Man would do. So it does this great sort of job of making you feel like Spider-Man. It is quite difficult. I have died quite a number of times because I'm playing it on the hardest setting. And again, I've come from playing Breath of the Wild and I suppose just playing a game. I mean, it's so quick, and you don't get a lot of window in the dodge mechanic. When you get like a little web head,
sense.
Yeah, like spider sense sort of flash on your head.
Spidey sense, say it right.
Spied sense on your head.
Spied about to hit me.
And you don't get a lot of time, especially on the difficulty that I'm playing. And then I just look at the unlock tree and I'm like, yes, I'm totally. When you look at a game, you're like, it's just talking to you. Do you know what I mean? It's just saying, yep, I want all this. This is exactly what I want. And then it shows you the skill tree, and you're like, yep, I'll play all that. I'll do all that. I'm gonna unlock this. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play more of it.
The interesting thing for me is
Hello, Coffee Cat, by the way, in the chat.
I like the game, but when I was first playing it, I wasn't feeling it really because it just felt like a lot of other open world action games that I've played, including Batman, and there's a lot of sort of stuff in here that's sort of similar, and I was like, no, I don't know, and then there was a point that came where something happened in the story that made me go, oh, actually, this is pretty cool, and that kind of was a bit of a turning point for me. Because up until that, I was a bit like, don't know. Because I love it. Look, aesthetically, it looks brilliant. Swinging mechanics are ace. Combat's pretty cool. But I just didn't feel invested in it. I don't know what it was.
But you've got to have a story, haven't you? You've got to have something to cling on to.
Yeah.
And I suppose
and that's happened
where
now.
I'm at the moment, I mean, it's still introducing like things like landmarks was the last thing it did for me. Like, here's a landmark, take a picture. And it throws a lot at you at the start. And I'd imagine it's going to throw some more at me. Whereas I suppose it doesn't really get into the story of it. So I'm guessing you got to a point where, it kicked in.
I think what was kind of cool. Initially, I thought it was very superficial. Just this kind of kingpins in prison, everyone else is trying to take over story.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't spoil it.
But it is. Well, I was just going to say, but it's not that, and that's what's kind of cool for me. I found. Obviously a lot more out of what's going on. I'm about 40% through the story campaign now, so I'm quite a way in. Yeah. And the other thing I kind of like about it, as I'm sort of getting to like it a bit more, is if I've got a spare 10, 15, 20 minutes, I can do a story mission and then put it down again. You can sort of do it in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am kind of liking it.
I think that about Zelda, though, to be fair. That's how I'm playing Zelda, is because I take it with me to work, and I played it on the plane and all that sort of stuff. So any like little time I have with 10 minutes or something, I play Zelda with it. So, but no, I absolutely love Spider-Man. I think it's going to be easily up there with one of my favorite games of the year. I've got a big soft spot for Spider-Man anyway. I don't really like superheroes and things like that, but I've always played every Spider-Man game. I think I've played every Spider-Man game that's come out since like 2006. I've got this like big thing about it. And this is probably one of the best ones I've ever played.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot more sneaking around now, so I'm not doing as much combat. I'm kind of just picking people off like I did in Batman. And I kind of like that. I like the sneaking stuff. So I've it's another one of those games where you can adapt your choice of upgrades to the way you play the game.
Yeah.
So like one of them is you can do the perch, like grab from further away. So I'm doing a lot of stuff like that, and you can use a Batman power that makes you stealthy, so they don't call back up and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing a lot more stuff of that nature, like perching and taking people out, and then swinging to another area, and then taking someone else out, and making distractions to separate people, and then I can take them out on their own. And he tells you when it's safe as well, which I kind of like. If you click down on the right stick, it'll go safe or danger. So
that'll do like that. Yeah, that's a really nice touch, because you can whether to like use the web thing on them and stuff. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. So there's lots of stuff like that. I am, like I say, the more I'm playing it, the more I'm getting to like it. So there you go. I wasn't convinced to start with, because I thought it was a bit generic and a bit just like, you know, Batman in a new skin. But the more I play the game, the more I'm liking it. So that's cool.
Cool.
So there you go. Yeah, I played other stuff. I played so much stuff this week.
Oh my god.
So let's get into some proper talk, because obviously we've talked quite a few demos and stuff, and I haven't really talked about anything that's like a proper game. But yeah, I played the second and potentially final episode of The Walking Dead final season this week.
Yes.
Yeah, because if people don't know, what's the studio?
Well, that was the news, wasn't it? Telltale.
Well, why wait until the news?
Well, we don't have to. I'm just saying, though, that we don't have to.
The point is, Telltale is closing down, and it's kind of messed up because the people who worked there didn't get any severance, and it was just like one day they went in, and they were like, everyone's fired, like 75% of the workforce, just get out, which is kind of messed up because the studio was doing pretty well for a while, so they should have found some way to take care of their workers. But anyway, I think the impression I get is that there may be because they have a bare bones staff, they may still put out the rest of this, but maybe not.
No. Apparently, what they're saying is the bare bone staff's working on Minecraft story mode for Netflix, so that's what they're doing.
Interesting.
And what they're kind of doing at the moment is looking for third-party developers to finish these two games. So they're looking for other people to do it on their behalf. So
I got you.
It might not even be the original team finishing it off.
Suddenly, the story gets really, really shit.
It gets really different. I don't know.
Good.
Good. Oh, better. Yeah, so we're in a really interesting point because this episode could be the swan song. That could be it. This could be the final thing they ever produce and put out there. What I can tell you is that they've taken it off sale from everywhere now, so you can't buy it anymore. So you can't get it anywhere from Steam or otherwise. So that's gone. And the only thing you could do was just, like I said, if you'd already bought the season pass, you could download this episode. Now, what's interesting is I've only had half the game, so am I going to get refunded half the game if they never finish it? I don't know how that's going to work.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it's like, they've only given me half a game. I've paid for a full game. Where's the rest of the game?
You won't get nothing. No, you won't.
No. It's funny, isn't it? So anyway.
Just the way it works.
So let's talk about it. It was okay. You know what? It's not brilliant. I love The Walking Dead. I love the first one immensely. The second one a little bit less, and then it was okay. Do you know what I mean? It's never hit the heights of the very first game they ever did for me.
Mm-hmm.
They still try and hit those story beats, and there are some references in this game to the original Walking Dead, and some stuff happens that sort of harkens back to the very first season, which was sort of cool, but not at the same time, because I remember something about something that happens that didn't gel really. So, and I can't talk about it without spoilers, and I guess the chance that the rest of these come out, I don't think it's fair to discuss spoiler stuff at this point, because you never know, something might happen. But I thought it was okay. I wasn't blown away. It did feel a bit fillerish. There was some interesting stuff goes on, because something happens in the first episode that has repercussions in the second episode, and there's a lot of morality discussions going on, which I thought was interesting. And the fact that the kid that you're with, AJ, is growing up in a world it's the only world he's ever known.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't know anything about what happened before the zombies came or how the world was at that point. Yeah. And I think they do a pretty good job of showing that point of view from this kid who knows nothing about what used to happen or what a law was or what a policeman did. Right. He knows none of that shit. So all he knows is this brutal world where you've got to look out for number one, and that's it. That's the world that you live in.
Too, though.
Well, yeah, not in the same way.
I'm just kidding. Jesus.
Yeah. No, that does happen to an extent, but not the same as this.
You're Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, if you're Donald Trump, he does.
Ew.
But yeah, and I think they do a pretty good job of writing that, and sort of show, through both actions and stuff that he says.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because obviously some of the other teenage kids in the game are old enough to remember before all the shit went down.
When the shit goes down.
But he has no idea about any of this stuff. So he asks what sound like these really innocent questions.
You better be ready.
And then when you have to pick an answer to give him, to say why this is what it is. But he doesn't always accept it because he's like, well, that's confusing for me. I really don't understand what you're saying or why that is.
And how it is kind of up.
Jesus Christ.
I got a sound clip for everything.
Yeah, so you do. You do.
Said Jesus Christ.
Jesus, I did. Oh my God.
You're welcome.
So anyway, I mean, I can't even recommend people to play it at this point because you can't buy it anymore. So I don't suppose that's going to happen. So if you think the only people who
you couldn't buy it anymore,
yeah, you can't buy it. I did say that at the beginning of this big spiel.
Yeah.
I don't. Listen.
I did. You weren't listening.
I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I
By
don't
the
know
way,
what to
you
say,
didn't
really.
listen to the EGX episode, Stu.
That is true, but at least I wasn't actually sat there just not listening.
To be
so,
fair,
yeah,
I went to the bathroom. I didn't want to bring it up, but since you mentioned it,
that is true. That is true.
Right.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I'd have liked to have seen the end and what happens and all that, but I guess now we'll never know. Or maybe
we might
will.
know.
We might.
Yeah,
not.
my only worry is that everybody's going to go to this effort to finish it off, and
they're going to rush it.
It ain't going to be that good anyway.
Well, I think it depends how this goes about. If this third-party studio, whoever it may be, who picks it up and finishes it off for them, has access to the assets and, maybe the original story writers come on board and go, look, we'll do this for whatever while we finish this game off because it should be finished. But it's a massive undertaking, and we talked about this. You've got all the voice actors you've got to get together. You've got all the scripts to write because presumably none of them are done, or they may be done. We don't really know.
I think the steps are done, definitely.
But we don't know how these guys work or how tight they are. How between episodes, how much is done. We just don't know. So who knows what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see if this ever does get finished. But my gut instinct is that it possibly won't. So that might be kind of it. I guess.
Yeah.
Have you played anything else before I move on? Have you played anything? Chinny? Anything else from you?
No.
Well, in that case, I'll finish with my last game, which is one of my favourite games I played this year so far, which is Life is Strange 2 came out this week.
Life is Strange.
Oh, yeah.
And brilliant. I don't know what to say. I love it.
This is episode 1, right?
It is episode 1, and it's about 4 hours long, so it's meaty.
Yeah.
These guys did, and I played it more or less in 2 sittings.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that there is only one very tenuous connection to the original Life is Strange, and that is it. This is completely new setting, completely new people, totally new story.
So it's not set in school?
Nope, it's completely all new, totally different story, totally different everything. And I love it. I love what they've done, and I love how they did it. Now, you'll notice I haven't put a video up, and the reason I haven't done that is because it would be major spoilers to put kind of anything from the beginning of the game up.
Dude, you're choosing not to give spoilers from the beginning?
I am.
Yay!
I am, because it's so amazed by it. One of the coolest things for you, Duke, is that this game is set 2 weeks before the presidential elections in the US of A.
Oh, dude. So Donald Trump is hit by a dump truck and he can't run?
Unfortunately, no.
He's okay. It's just he can't be president.
But that sort of feeling, of what was going on in America at the time is in the game, sort of things that people say, references to the elections.
Horrible racist people chanting.
Horrible racist. There is some racism in the game.
Sounds great. I play video games to get away from real life, and this does the exact opposite. Yay!
That is true. But what is great about this game is the seriousness of the story. The voice acting is really, really good. And settings-wise, it's cool because it kind of it's got multiple settings. So whereas the first game was kind of a bit constrained and you were kind of in a number of places, but there wasn't a lot of variation. Either at school or a cafe or at your house or whatever. This is totally different. And what's great, I can say that it's 2 brothers who are the main protagonists in the game. That's not a spoiler.
Watch out for the Spider Woman.
Not a spoiler. But the relationship between those two brothers is nothing short of excellent. And it does a really good job of building atmosphere and sense of place. And that's what I really love about the game. And like I say, I just love the way everything's done. And it's a very quite serious tone to the story.
Uh-huh.
Which was very, very cool. And I love the way that it all gets set up at the very beginning. I thought it was really excellently, very cinematic.
Right.
Hugely cinematic and just great. Their attention to detail is just ridiculous. Because, even so much as, in the game, you have an in-game phone, of course, because you always have an in-game phone. But there's, you get a text message off someone. But when you go and look in the text messages, there's all these different people that have been texting you in the past and stuff. But they go back maybe 30 or 40 texts. So you can scroll all the way back up to the top and read all these conversations you've had with different characters in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
nature of your relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
that makes me wonder, why aren't they like, hey, where's that thing? Oh, never mind, I see it. Like, is there any of that? Is there any hey, yeah, same with your mom, and then it's 5:30. Because if you looked at my history of my text messages, a lot of it would be gibberish. It would make no sense.
Yeah, a lot of this is not necessarily gibberish, but stuff like just stupid little short messages that don't mean a lot on their own in isolation. And
the unrealistic nature of some of the stuff in the first episode of the first Life is Strange, I'm wondering if I might be irritated by the not totally authentic nature of some of these text messages. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That is a neat thing. You're right.
It is, but it's cool that they've even thought, because not everyone will be bothered to even go back and read all that stuff.
That's true.
They've taken the time to put all that stuff there, and you have a journal, and there's loads of stuff already in your journal, that you've sort of written down and scribbled notes and drawn little doodles and pictures and stuff.
Sure.
I just love the amount of effort they put into these. You can see how much love and what have you has gone into this game. What I do think is particularly better about this than the original Life is Strange is I think the voice acting's better, but I also think that the scripting's a bit tighter and it does sound more realistic. Because I think the first game there was sometimes it just didn't feel right. That it just not what a teenager would say.
Yes.
Whereas with this game, I feel like they've taken more time to get that right. And there are still odd moments where something doesn't quite gel or you think, it doesn't sound quite right. But that's not as often as the first game.
Yeah.
There's no cringy moments. In the first game, there was some moments that were a bit cringy. What was super cool, and I forgot to say this, when you first go into the house as the older brother who you play as, you can go in his room and obviously there's a record player. Because why wouldn't there be? Because there's always that available. When you turn it on, it's The Streets, Flip a Coin. That's the song that comes on. And I'm like, wow, that is so cool that they put The Streets on the soundtrack because it's not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
So, it's just their attention to detail, which I think you find with all of the... And the characters are so nuanced. Some of the characters you come across, there was a character... And I just wasn't sure of his motivations at all. I wasn't sure whether he was good or bad or whether he was going to do something dodgy or whether he was genuine. And I think that was really cool because it just wasn't easy to work out, with the way he acted and the things he was saying. It could have gone either way, and I kind of like that about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you like the Telltale games, if you want to see, sadly, the Telltale game done better, then this is what you need to be playing. Because the first game was awesome, and I think this is going to be better. I think this is going to be an all-round better game than the first one.
Well, that's a strong endorsement.
Yeah. No, I totally do. From the first episode, I love the way it ended, and I just can't wait for the next one to come out, which I have no idea when that is.
Yeah.
But I want to find out. I want to know what's going to happen next.
Word.
So I'm pretty much invested already in the characters and the plight and the story that's going on around them, and I just want to know what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, total recommendation. Duke, I think you'd like it. I do. So I do think you'd like this.
Probably play it someday. I got to get through the first one first.
Yeah, I think you'd like this better than the first one.
Well, fair enough. I'm not going to skip it. I mean, I've got it someone bought it for me, I guess, or maybe I bought it. But
yeah, and there's no. By the way, if you've never played the first one and you think, oh well, I can't play this one, there's no need to play the first one because this has no connection at all to it.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so you can play this totally on its own, and you never need to play the first one. So there you go, and that really is it. That's everything I played this week, which is a lot of shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, so we're done with what we've been playing.
Yeah, finally, with no news this week because we ain't got time for that shit. Yeah. So we ain't got time, but we have got emails, so let's do those, and I think a speed pipe as well.
Whoa, that ruled.
And it did rule. Right. I'm just waiting for me show info to load up. For some reason, it's taking its time.
Now,
Okay.
musical interlude.
Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor. Terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan. Swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the first one is from Jay. And he says this. To be read by Stu in an Australian accent.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it because he's not happy. He's not a happy guy. He says, hey, guys, is it just me or all of Stu's accents so bad that it's almost impossible to follow what he's saying?
Australia, 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 we love you, honey.
Give it up, mate. Whatever. I don't care. Okay, please stop the Australian accent now, because I'm sure that by now it's becoming unbearable. Anyway, being a
You didn't do it this time.
no, I didn't on purpose.
Yeah, so
Being a pilot,
happy.
being a pilot myself, my question to you guys is: what are your favourite games that involve flying of some sort? Keep up the good work, fellas. Aussie pilot Jay. So there you go, coolio. Chinny, what is your favourite game with flying?
Does Spider-Man count?
Does that count? I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think it
It's
does.
falling with style.
It's falling with style. Yeah, swinging. It's swinging, not flying. I don't think that's flying.
That's
What
a
about
tough
Batman?
one.
Do those qualify as flying?
I suppose Batman's kind of more flying than Spider-Man, isn't it?
Yeah, he does kind of fly.
It's out of glides. He glides, doesn't he, across the city?
Trying to
And
think
you
of
can
games
glide
where you
for a
fly.
long way.
GTA 5.
GTA.
Wildlands. I didn't talk about I started another playthrough of Wildlands.
No, you don't have to.
Wildlands. What a great game.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Yeah, probably GTA 5, I'd say, because the fly mechanics are really good in that.
Skyrim, you can fly a dragon.
No.
You can, I think. Does that count?
Yeah, it does. What about Rebel Galaxy? That's got flying through space. Minecraft, you put an elytra on and you're kind of flying, and it's falling with style, really.
Falling with style. I'm trying to think myself what's my favourite games with flying, and I don't know.
What about Hawks? That was a good game back in the day with flying.
Hawks. Yeah.
Hawks. I'm going to say my favourite game with flying was Firefox when I was a kid. Because it was Firefox. Because it was one of those Laserdisc games, so it looked like it was real. Like you were really in a plane, but it was really shit, really. But it just looked cool when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my god, look, I'm flying a fighter plane in the sky and shooting planes down and stuff. How cool is this?
Okay.
But not so much. Or, what about the original Star Wars cabinet game? You know, the one where you sat in it.
Oh, man.
You had to blow up the Death
No,
Star.
it was Afterburner. Oh, that was the
I
bollocks.
see. There you go. There you go.
I'm more of a Star Fox 64 man.
See, we knew we couldn't think of any, and now we thought of loads.
Star
Yeah.
Fox 64.
Oh, man, I want to hear Afterburner because those sound effects, man. There you go. Fire, fire. Why isn't he saying it? Fire. There we go. I just remember dying a lot, but being so happy when I died.
Yeah, but that's like Firefox. But the cool thing about Firefox is you got all the Clint Eastwood sound bites as well.
And
Doing, like saying stuff.
browser. Ah.
There you go. There you go. So there you go. That's our favourite flying games. I think we did quite well considering we had no idea to begin with. But who knew?
It's almost as though we thought about it and gave some answers.
I know. Who knew?
Amazing. Good job, us.
Good job, us. Right, Right, here we go. This one's from the Great Owl. So who knows? Here we go. Woo. I've been hired by an anonymous client. My goal to determine the true meaning behind the disgust at day 2 of EGX. Magnum PI here. As Ginger Bowl stated last week, the word shit rolls deep within his very own personal vocabulary. What Pete didn't know before getting into that car with Stu and Mike and heading for EGX was that shit had just gone down. Why was Mike, ass blocking his toilet from Stuart? Sure, it had flooded in the past and he claimed it had just been clogged up. Was he only trying to keep Stu's poo from floating around in his lavatory? Or was it just the potential fouler stench that Mike was trying to avoid? One mystery that I'm having trouble with here was, what was the need for Fowler to walk a mile in Mike's shoes? His wedding shoes at that, in a McDonald's shitter. I think we did kind of explain this, that they were the only shoes available because you locked mine in the porch and I couldn't get to them.
Yeah.
We explained that.
I think we did explain
I'm explaining it again, people. Just pay attention the first time.
Pay attention the first time, man.
Oh.
I'm going to need to analyze anus diameters as well as various sphincters, PSI. I'm quite sure there is more to this story than Mike wants us to believe, but I will get to the bottom of it all, no doubt. One thing is for certain. I will never eat Big Mac the same way ever again.
Apparently
Thanks
not.
a lot, veterans.
You're welcome.
Please, no one wants to hear your poo stories. Well, except for Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Duke, Catherine, with a C or a K, neither of those were whores, you pompous twat.
What a
Greatest game ever. Go play it.
Yeah.
Well, I did try and explain it to you, but you weren't having any of it, as always.
Nope.
Mike, I am deeply sorry that Stu desecrated your wedding shoes with his tiny foul feet. He owes you a free dump at his house immediately after he buys you a 12-pack of spicy tacos. I hope your sphincter PSI is raging. PI out.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, PI.
Yeah, I mean, as always, I really have no idea what to say. I never know what to say. Just anyway. We have got one more email tonight off Dan Fletcher, no less, who we obviously saw at EGX this year.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Dan.
Good old Dan. And can I say I have purchased a ticket to watch him like rumble around in a ring feeling up another bloke. So I've done that. He's doing what's called white collar wrestling for charity. For charity, mate. So yeah, I'm going down watching him wrestle other people from offices, from what I can gather. I have no idea how this is going to work, but it sounds like fun. So yeah, I'm going to go and watch him get, like, I don't know, suplex or clothesline. I don't know. All these wrestling moves, I guess. But anyway, he has this to say. Evening, gents.
Hello.
This is a monster email, by the way. Having a few long drives lined up, I'd like to have plenty of podcasts to pass the time. I recently decided to go back as far as I could into the VG feed out of curiosity to see what games were out and what the chats involved. I managed to get to the very last 035 show.
Wow.
And the first few VG shows. Having been a listener since the 035 show number 1.
Damn.
Yeah. I thought it was fun to go over these older episodes as you get reminded of fun features and interesting opinions. I thought I'd share a bit of a retro review of the one I listened to today.
Okay.
Which was the Veteran Gamers episode 4. So that's a long time ago.
Yes, it is.
Stuart's been playing Mass Effect 2. Everybody seems to be happy they took some RPG elements out of the Mass Effect. Stu actually intended to play a long session one Friday from around 10 a.m. to 3 in the afternoon. However, he I think it must be 10 p.m. though, actually, 10 p.m. However, he fell asleep on the sofa and woke up at 3 in the morning before going to bed and waking up again at 7 just to get right back onto it. I used to do stuff like that, which is weird when I think about that. I don't know. He also gives a massive spoiler and realizes as soon as he says that the Normandy crash site is one of the locations you can visit when scanning for planets.
Yeah.
Chinny talks about his hatred of Apple and Apple users as the iPad is discussed. Yeah, you're getting this. The view is that he's a total useless piece of shit. Stu suggests that it could be a great way to play virtual board games. Who fucking knew? It's like, did I really do that? Clutching at straws, maybe? Well, no, because that actually happened, didn't it? You can get loads of board games on the iPad now.
Nobody plays board games on iPads.
Yeah, you do. Loads of people.
They play board games with real boards.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
Ginny mentions Apple users being pretentious
Yep.
and that Apple are responsible for him losing loads of work after his Mac's battery ran out and encrypted all his files.
Yeah.
And now Ginny is an Apple fanboy. We had Quamrian's Indie Pick and a game I actually remember called You Will Die. It received fairly favourable reviews as is seen as a never-ending boss battle as deal at 80 Microsoft points or $1. We also had the interval music. That's right. We used to do interval music. Where we were encouraged to do the Donkey Kong at halftime as Duke found an album full of video game-related songs.
Yeah.
Of which this week's choice was the aforementioned Do the Donkey Kong. The previous week had been the smash hit Pac-Man Fever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it seems so long ago.
Yeah. And it feels so familiar. Donkey Kong.
We had the old version of the quiz titled The Gamerators and used the music from the UK TV show The Gladiators. We had rounds including Where's Your Dome, Son? Which had questions including one for Stu, which was who was the third name on the credits for additional development in Fear 2? Ginny answered correctly when Martin Robertson of the IGN crew got to play GTA 4 on the PS3. What resolution was it at? He, of course, said 1920 times 1200. I believe Stu was in hot water with host Duke for replacing questions. Another round was reversed audio, where contestants had to guess the game from the audio played backwards. Finally, an interesting quote from Chinny. Why would anybody buy for the PC? It's a dead platform.
Nice.
Still believe that's the case, Mike? God, you've been called out twice. First, you said the Apple iPad was going to be shit and no one would buy it.
Yeah.
And PC is dead as a platform for games.
Yeah.
Quite
but someone came and resurrected it, and that someone is Gabe. Gabe.
Yeah.
I stand by my statements.
I'm sure you do. Quite the stirring edition of the Veteran Gamers, all in all. Keep up the good work, Dan Stroke Fletch. So there you go.
That's weird to listen. I don't remember any of it.
Well, of course you don't. I don't remember. I don't remember saying, "Oh, yeah, you could play board games on an iPad. That's what it's for."
Yeah.
And to an extent, I was right.
Keep telling yourself.
I am right. There is low. If you go on there, there's everything on there.
I've never heard of anybody playing a board game on an iPad.
I played board games on there.
Of course.
So there you go. So you can stick it up your ass.
Okay, you want to go back through episodes and correct you every time you was fucking wrong? Because there's going to be loads.
No, there will be loads. No, I don't disagree with you there. I can't argue that point. I can't argue.
I'm sure Dan will find some.
I'm sure he will. That could be a new feature. Dan calling us out from episodes from like 10 years ago.
Fucking, yeah.
And that is it. That's everything in the emails. And I guess we just need to do some shout outs and get the hell out of here.
No, we also have a Speak Pipe.
We do. I forgot about that. I did say that as well.
Speak Pipe. It's the way to do the Donkey Kong. All right, this Speak Pipe is from Dark Signs, whom you met.
We did again, second time.
X, what's up?
This thing right here is letting all the ladies know what guys talk about. You know, find a lady. Check it out.
Hello, Veteran Gamers. It's
Hello.
Derek Sains back again.
Yay.
And as Mr. Siska was just about to say there, we're going to talk about video games, specifically the EGX weekend at the Birmingham NEC. I did enjoy my time. I spent the Saturday at the EGX event and Saturday night at the Midlife Gamer Party, although I did leave a bit early, and I believe I missed quite a riotous night with the karaoke and possibly a bit of dancing as well, and lots of drinking. But there was one question which I meant to ask Chinny on the Sunday when I seen him, I think I only seen him and Kyle from the Entertain Nerds on the Sunday and missed everyone else, but never mind. And the question is, has he planned what he's going to do for this year's Extra Life? I believe he's going to be doing Extra Life with his brother Pete, so just wonder, has he got it all sorted out, or is it still at the planning stage? And that's it, so I'll just say, keep on gaming.
To answer your question there, Derek, it is still...
He's still singing.
Let me see your booty go. Song,
It's always nice to hear Derek singing the thong song.
Is that really what he was just doing? Oh my god. Okay.
To answer your question, yes, it's still. I've got a lot to do. Is the answer there? I doubt that I'll do what I did last year, which was over £2,000 myself. I don't know, but yeah, the plan is to do it with Pete, and do it together. And I think the theme will just be co-op. So we're going to play as many co-op games as we can. So there's a lot of moving parts there in terms of what we play. I think it starts with what we play and where we play it. Yeah, so that's the plan. I will be doing it this year. I'm not particularly looking forward to it, but there you go.
And Pete's doing a sponsored swim, isn't he, as in addition to his gaming thing?
My brother is very extra.
There you go. He's very extra.
He will when he goes into something, he goes full on in, and he's like, "I'm going to do a sponsored swim, and then, you know, do all this and that." I'm like, "I don't know. I better remember what day it is."
That's true. He is different to you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he's similar in a lot of ways and very different in others.
He is. He
But
is.
there
Bless
you
him.
go. So yeah, I haven't really. I'm getting there. To be honest. I don't know when I'm going to do it because Red Dead is the week before. So, I don't know. I don't know. We have to work it out. And it's also very close to Pete's birthday, so we might have to delay it a week again. Which is why I delayed it last year. Then he didn't end up doing it with me. Remember, he was meant to do Extra Life with me last year, and he didn't.
That's right.
And then I had to do it on my own anyway. So hopefully... he's going to stick to his word. I'm sure he will this year. He seems dead keen on it this year. So we might have to do it the week after. Actually, I'm not sure. So we'll have to keep updating the podcast with that.
Yes, we will. Yeah, it's not too far away now, is it either?
You know, it's not too far away.
Red Dead comes around very soon.
Red Dead Redemption.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Duke's
Shout out.
Duke's trying to move
yeah.
the show.
I know exactly. Duke, you go for it.
Yeah, I'll shout out Antonio because we played some Rocket League today and we ended with a killer win. Oh, it felt so good for us to end on that note because we just crushed the enemy team. And it said Veteran Gamers UK win. And we're like, yeah. And he was a beast on defense today. Sometimes things just happen, you know. And then I will shout out the Duchess because she's awesome. And I'll shout out my dog, and I'll shout out Tara because I'm glad she's feeling better. I'll shout out everyone in the chat, but I'm not going to look up names, so you know who you are, people in the chat. And I'll shout out Derek Sains because he gets in touch every week. And I'll shout out Jason Gallagher because he sends in a lot of weird emails. And everybody who's listening, thank you for listening. But holler at us. Send an email. Send a speak pipe. We want to engage with you about the topics on the show, questions you have, stuff that's on your mind, what you're playing. Just let us know.
There you go. I like it. You can't say it better than that.
Yeah.
Ginny, over to you.
Shout out to my brother who's done such a great job in replacing me. So I had to kick him off the show. Fuck that shit. And yeah, shout out to everybody that we saw over the weekend, last weekend. It was good fun as always. And that's about it from me. Rockstar for bringing out Red Dead Redemption 2, which is coming out in like 3 weeks or whatever it is. Cannot wait. Oh my god.
There you go. Well, I'm going to obviously a very similar shout out. So all the people we met at EGX last weekend, it was super cool as always. Big shout out again to Midlife Gamer Crew for putting on another good night and raising a shit ton of money, which is, man, Darren, they are something else, aren't they? They're just, get shit done.
Yeah.
And obviously Adam, all those guys, everybody over there at Midlife Gamer, all the stuff you do for, for Game Aid. Is it Gamer Aid? Game Aid?
Yeah, Gamer Aid.
Yeah, Gamer Aid. And over the years, they've raised a lot of money, so well done to you guys. I'm going to shout out a guy who I met just randomly who came up and said hello while I was queuing up for something. And I hope I get this right, but I think it was Wishy Washy is his gamer tag. Can't remember his real name, but I just remember the gamer tag being Wishy Washy. Apparently, he has emailed in a couple of times to the podcast over the years. And it was just a bit random because I was just, like I say, queuing up and he just came up and went, Stu from the Veteran Gamers. I'm like, hiya. And he's like, you don't know me, do you? And I'm like, nope. So, yeah, that was a bit random. So, shout out to him. And shout out to Don't Nod for just doing one game at a time rather than trying to release 11 episodes of something a year like Telltale did and keeping up the quality rather than quantity. There you go. And that's me done.
That's you done.
That's me done.
Us done.
Us done for this week.
Like this podcast, there is another site you should check out, which is called VGHub.net. And on there, you find a bunch of links to other video game podcasts, similar in vein to ours, but different in the way they're delivered. Some have all kinds of sound effects.
Are for old people.
Some talk about RPGs.
Too many, some people say.
Come on now. Some might say that.
No one says that.
Then, of course, you have links to, great forums.
You don't have any other friends.
So check it out, VGHub.net. It is a great starting point for your podcast discovery.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Won't you just switch off the television set and go and do something less boring instead? Sitting at home, watch TV, turning on slow books of Won't you? Won't you? Why don't you? Go, go, go!
There
Right.
you go.
I'm off to play Spider-Man. Goodbye.
Spider-Man.
Wildland.
Does whatever a spider can.
No!
I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor, terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man.
Said if you think I'm playing it too much, you don't understand the intro of that on the 36 Chambers album because the guy's like, I want to hear it again and again and again.
I don't know what to say anymore.
I don't know.
And that's the end of the show.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Job done.
Job
done.
Stop.
Job done. That's it.
Logic album is good, man. Young Sinatra 4. Check it.
Check
What
it
episode
out.
is this? 4, 6.
4, 5, 6. All in one row. 4, 5, 6.
Oh, what? Excuse me.
Lovely. That
That's
was
not
beautiful.
like you, Duke.
I know, right? I usually
That was,
mute myself.
that was beautiful. Beautiful.
Bootyful.
That was beautiful.
Booty.
Booty.
It's booty.
So let me ask you, Duke.
I graded all my papers, and I got a bunch of tallies of papers. I should grade more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening. Sorry.
So did you enjoy the EGX podcast? Did you like them?
Yeah, they were fun. I thought they were good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good on you. It's not like I felt like exactly like I was there, but it was entertaining.
Well, as long as it was, because it's difficult, because you never know what they're going to come out like or whether they're going to be any good or whatever.
Well, of course.
Especially when I took over this year and Chinny weren't doing them mostly, it was a bit like worrying.
Yeah, but he's doing video.
I know he was. I know what he was doing.
Right then.
I know what he's doing.
It's all good, baby.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, guys.
We will do. You too.
Peace out.
Peace. See you later. Right. That's it, I guess. Right. Go and play Spider-Man. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
You're not really going to play Spider-Man at all, are you?
No, I'm going to bed.
We don't blame you.
Bedtime.
Yeah, it's too tiring. It is bedtime. Radio, have a
See you in a
good
bit.
week.
Yeah,
and
and you,
I'll
mate.
speak to you next week.
Yeah.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.